unfortunately. But that's for another day.
Yeah, obviously when you win against a good team, always is massive, and then you have very good memories. But now it's just to concentrate on that. It will be a tough game, difficult game against a very good team. People can talk about, they lost this game or the other one, but they have so many good players that anyone can make the difference, like they did against Villarreal. So for us, it's just, or for me, it's to concentrate on to do well, to be sure that we can present a team that can compete and try to get the 3 points. That's it.
He's had a great impact both on and off the pitch. How professional he is, how of course the goals, 5 goals in 5 games says everything. At his age, he's still fit, and of course you've got to manage him. You've got to make sure that we can keep going in this with this form. He's a very good example for everyone, how he prepares, how he just conducts himself. So it's been a very, very good impact so far, and it's only been a month. So long may it continue.
I think Cristiano is a great professional. With his age, still is doing really well. So we have to keep an eye on him, but we have to keep an eye on the rest of the team. I said before, they have so many good players that anyone can make the difference. So we have to be concentrated from the first minute until the last minute.
Thoughts there of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Raphael Benitez, the managers respective of Man United and Everton. Paul Parker is with me, Tom Rennie. How big a game is this for Manchester United, and what's an acceptable result? Is it win or bust?
I believe they have to win. They have to show some kind of a performance, because at the moment there's no cohesion in the way they play. It's a little bit off the cuff, and it's more in the hope that one of the main players, and one of those main players, or the main player, is on the bench. The get out of jail card is on the bench for Manchester United, in my opinion. So they have to win. And that people will not forget that performance midweek. As much as they scored a late goal, that performance was shocking. They was outplayed, outfought, and they got away with it in the end. But today, playing Everton is everyone. Imagine they're going to be a little bit on edge, everyone in there, because it's Everton. After last season, 2-goal advantage, 3-1 up, and they go and blow it.
Yeah, Everton have got draws last 2 visits here. They haven't won here since David Moyes was in charge of Manchester United, but certainly some decent results last couple of seasons at Old Trafford, as many teams have got. How do Everton go about this game? Is it just try and contain Man United, or will they hit them on the break, or what's the game plan?
It's going to be about containment, to be perfectly honest, for Everton. That's the way they try to do that, even against Queen's Park Rangers. So it's there. He's drilling that into them. He isn't going to change it and suddenly come out, because he knows if they don't stay compact, they are going to get... Even Man United could play for him, and United, creativity-wise, struggle against teams who sit that deep. So they are going to sit that deep, and they're going to hope that they can counter-attack. Everything's going to come through Townsend. Andros Townsend is the one is the one who will open things up, and they're hoping that Gray can maybe do that little bit of magic. He's showing a bit of form here, because he knows he's going to get regular football. He knows he's liked by the manager, so his confidence is up, and he's got that bit of belief now, Gray. So this is going to be a very difficult game for Manchester United. They need to score early.
Well, the players are in the tunnel. Big game for both this one. The winner will go top for a few hours at least of the Premier League table. The headline is that Cristiano Ronaldo starts a Premier League game on the bench for the first time since 2007. Can they do it without him? When do they break glass and bring him on? It's Man United against Everton. Kick-off is next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think. Excuse me.
With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
Let's go to Cumbria and Fraser. Fraser, good morning. Hello. Fraser, get out of that league.
The nation's first and best commercial sports radio station.
Live, lubricated and legendary.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
This is rewarding mediocrity.
No. It's not. It's the exact opposite.
Two towering giants of sports media.
He's got COVID-19. He's got Newcastle wanting to sue him. He's got broadcasters pulling money out of deals left, right and centre. You wouldn't want to fly with this guy, would you?
Jim White and Simon Jordan.
Double trouble, daily drama and searing debate.
Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
If you haven't bought, owned, managed, sold a player, managed a football club, sat in a boardroom, sat in a dressing room, what exactly do you know?
100% engagement.
The Football League is a league which is a busted flush.
You're obsessed with that subject. You do know that.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. High Octane Radio. Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
The Women's Football Weekly Podcast.
With Faye Carruthers. All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
Cleared off the line by Steph Horton.
Including the Women's Super League.
Ellen White is there to tap it in.
The UEFA Women's Champions League.
Lana Clellan striking from outside the penalty area.
And the Euro 2021 qualifiers.
On the edge of the area to Emsley. And Emsley's going to finish it off.
Plus, all the home nations' international friendlies.
Lucy Bronze with the strike from the edge of the penalty area.
World-beating big match conversation.
There's Jodie Taylor.
Subscribe now to the Women's Football Weekly Podcast on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester United against Everton from Old Trafford. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Manchester United and England defender, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live. A loss last weekend here against Aston Villa was most unwelcome for Manchester United and manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Just as the Ronaldo factor got them back into title contention, old failings have re-emerged. United's last 8 league losses have all come here, and despite the late win over Villarreal in the Champions League in midweek, there are still major concerns about why this team struggles so much to win at this ground, and if the manager knows how to put it right. Everton have won just twice in 29 Premier League visits here. Last time they did, David Moyes was still in charge of the Red Devils. However, this Toffees team have won 4 times already this season, with just 1 defeat in all competitions in 90 minutes, easing any potential fears of a backlash to the appointment of Rafa Benitez as replacement to Carlo Ancelotti. You join us here at a moment just before kick-off where there will be a minute's appreciation for the life of Roger Hunt, the Liverpool legend, of course, but also a legend of the 1966 World Cup winning England side, who sadly passed away in recent days. He is the record all-time goalscorer for Liverpool Football Club, and only last week did Mo Salah beat his record of quickest to 100 goals in the top division for Liverpool. A true great of the English game, and we'll take that appreciation now. A lovely touch of respect to Roger Hunt from Man United and Everton, two of the great rivals, if not the great rivals, of Liverpool Football Club, where he was so famed for his goal-scoring record. 244 goals for that club, but also a legend of English football too, sadly passed away at the age of 83 in recent days. Right, to today's match, Manchester United against Everton. here at Old Trafford on Premier League Live. Let's get to the team news. The headline, I'm sure you're aware of it by now, but just to reiterate, Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench for Manchester United. I have noted on social media he's 36 is trending around the world, and maybe that explains why Ronaldo doesn't get the start today, having played last weekend and midweek. Here is the Man United team. David De Gea in goal. Back four, left to right, of Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, Raphael Varane and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Maguire not fit enough to make the squad. Fred and McTominay in the centre of midfield. Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood support Edinson Cavani, who starts as striker. Dean Henderson, Eric Bailly, Paul Pogba, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jesse Lingard, Jadon Sancho, Alex Telles, Nemanja Matic and Donny van de Beek are the bench. As for Everton, Jordan Pickford is in goal. Back four, Luca Digne, the captain, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey, Adelaide Doucouré, Alan in centre of midfield, Anthony Gordon in for Iwobi, Andros Townsend on the other side, Damari Gray supporting Solomon Rondon, still no Calvert-Lewin, still no Richarlison, amongst several absentees for Everton today. The bench, Asmir Begovic, Andy Lonergan, they are both goalkeepers, John Joe Kenny, Mason Holgate, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, Tom Davies, Jared Branthwaite, Charlie Whittaker and Lewis Dobbin. Michael Oliver's our referee, Paul Tierney fourth official, Stuart Atwell the dreaded VAR, and we are underway at Old Trafford in our first game of October, and it certainly feels like October in the UK right now. Temperatures around about 10-12 degrees. It's rained all day, the skies are grey. What else would you expect from a Manchester mid-morning, early afternoon? Man United, red shirts, white shorts, black socks. They kick from left to right as we look in this first half. Everton the other way, right to left as we're looking. Blue shirts, blue shorts, blue socks, white numbering and trim. That's towards the Stretford end at Old Trafford. Paul Parker, we are underway here at Old Trafford. What have you noted and what are you expecting from these opening exchanges?
Well, I'm expecting United to get hold of the ball and try and control the game as early as possible and not allow Everton any time in the ball and put them under pressure. In other words, United to show that they mean to give the game a bit of authority, really, by taking control of it. And they just don't do that at Old Trafford. They seem more comfortable playing at home. Their best results come from being away from home. Yeah. So they need to sort that problem out, because it's not going to be stood for long by the fans. They're going to want to be entertained.
Yeah, their away form is absolutely spectacular. Manchester United, they seem unbeatable on the road, but they do struggle here, as I've mentioned a few times in the show to this point. But for those just joining us, their last 8 defeats in the league have all come here. And they're on the front foot now, though, down the right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka gets away from his marker on this near side. Anthony Gordon tries a 1-2 with Greenwood, losing it temporarily. He's won it back, though. There's Wan-Bissaka, tries to cross on the right-hand side, challenged by Digne. And that's out for a throw to United on the right, around about 10 yards away from the corner flag, which is taken by Wan-Bissaka. Edges his way forward, then knocks it back to Bruno Fernandes, charged with bringing the creativity today for Manchester United, with Pogba absent and Ronaldo absent. They're on the bench. Here's Martial, a surprise inclusion, left-hand side, trying to take on Ben Godfrey, versatile player at right back today. Here's Shaw, then Fernandes, then Shaw, trying to slip it back into him is Fernandes, ricochets off of a Everton foot and is caught by Jordan Pickford.
Yeah. The thing that's going to work there for him going forward, Luke Shaw, is that he's got Martial. As far as I'm concerned, Martial shouldn't really be on the park. His form doesn't lie, really, just hasn't been good enough. But at least he's got someone who's going to be on that left side. When Paul Pogba was meant to be playing there, he tucked inside. So Luke Shaw virtually had to marshal that whole kind of area on his own, and he kept trying to go forward and he had no one filling in. He was always stepping inside Pogba, so there was always gaps for people to run into. Now he's got someone in front of him. Now he can maybe go forward knowing that someone's going to be tucked in behind him, or someone in front of him when he's defending, who's going to maybe stop the ball coming out to his wide man that easy. So I believe that Luke Shaw's going to maybe go forward with more favourably now, in the fact of he ain't got no one in front of him.
3.5 minutes gone here. It is goalless between Manchester United and Everton. Ball is in the centre of the field with Fred, who goes forward to Shaw, who's ahead of Bruno Fernandes, who's currently just behind him. Shaw driving forward down that left-hand side. He releases Martial, up against Godfrey, up against Doucouré, into Fernandes, dummy to Fred, back to Fernandes, tries a return, away by the former Manchester United man Michael Keane. Recovered on the halfway line by Lindelof, who looks for Greenwood, not in the most recent England squad, as They're looking to manage his minutes between this team and the national team. He finds the ball infield to Fred, then Cavani back to goal, 40 yards from it. Cushions back to McTominay, right to Wan-Bissaka, who's got a couple of players on him. One is Gordon, one is Digne, who combined to win it back for Everton. Tamari Gray looks over the top down the left-hand channel towards Anthony Gordon. No chance for Gordon to get on the end of that one. It goes all the way through to David De Gea.
I just think we're already inside the first 5 minutes. I think the pattern's been set for the game. It's all about United to break them down, which has always been a problem for United with every team, or teams over this season and even the previous season. But they just sit deep, and United cannot break them down. They really do struggle, so they need that early breakthrough just to open the game up a little bit more.
A quick note on Anthony Gordon, who gets his first start since December, in for Iwobi, who is absent today with an unknown injury at this point. Under 20, England international. Been at the club since he was 11 years of age. Made his senior debut at 16. He's 20 years of age now. This is 4th appearance in the Premier League this season, but first start for Rafa Benitez in this competition. So a big day for him over on the left-hand side. He's defending here, as is Decore, but Fernandes has it, and he finds Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side of the area, and that's a lovely ball in. Martial! Oh, he had to score, 4 yards out, back post, and he floats it wide.
I mean, that was wonderful by Wan-Bissaka. He dropped his left shoulder, and he just stepped past Digne so easily, and then the ball comes over, and he jumped too early. He just jumped, and you think he's going to hang. He doesn't. He has jumped far too early, and by the time he's headed it, he's on his way down. He couldn't control it. We have to say that was awful there, of what he's gone and done there, Martial.
Great chance for Anthony Martial at the back post. Good record against Everton during his career, 6 goals and 12 appearances against them. Famous injury time winner against the Toffees in the FA Cup, semi-final a few years ago, back in 15-16. Brilliant chance, great early chance for Manchester United. Goes begging at Old Trafford as they retake the ball in the centre of midfield again, with the score at 0-0 between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United and Rafa Benitez Everton. Crossfield ball, lovely from Lindelof to Martial over on that far side. Sideline, helps it on, Bruno Fernandes, challenge by Yerry Mina. And then Fernandes goes in behind Godfrey, who looks to clear it, but I think Godfrey was delighted to take that tackle. And Bruno Fernandes, who wears the captain's armband today for Manchester United, is the man who's given this free kick away.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if it had been the other way round, Fernandes would have been screaming even worse than that. But I'm surprised about Godfrey, the scream he's put out there, because it wasn't a major challenge. He's just looked like more like a slip, but he made a big meal of it, and he's got what he's wanted out of it. But he let Everton off the hook. That's what he's gone and done, really, by making that challenge.
Well, Everton give the ball straight back to Manchester United. They've been very poor so far in the opening exchanges. Have Everton. They clip it forward. Wan-Bissaka returns it. Michael Keane takes it, knocks it back to Jordan Pickford, who's been struggling himself with injury recently. Not form, though. He's played fantastically well at the start of this campaign for the Toffees, as he did for England, I would suggest, during the European Championship. His long clearance is won back by Man United. 8 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Left-hand side is Martial, running at Godfrey. Townsend supporting. Crossed by Shaw, blocked by the retreating Godfrey. That's a corner for Manchester United, their first of the match on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Luke Shaw in this game already now. He's made 4 or 5 forays forward, going beyond Martial, trying to get to the byline. So that seems the area where a lot of strength's going to come from. It's going to be very limited from Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side.
Varane forward for Manchester United, lurking around the penalty spot. Ball comes in, flicked on at the near post by Allan's head, cleared away at the second time of asking. Clip forward, Greenwood in the area, right-hand side, flashes the ball right across the 6-yard box. Varane was close by, wanting his first Manchester United goal, but couldn't turn it home.
Well, it was all about the first touch by Greenwood when the ball comes out to him, because he's taken it with the sole of his left foot, which is an incredible skill, by the way, to go and do that. If he miscontrol it, you have to talk about the way he's actually tried to control it, but his first touch was that good. His delivery in the end was so early that no one could actually read it, had enough time to read it. It was a wonderful ball, but it was maybe too good a ball in the circumstances, because neither Varane or Cavani could get there.
10 minutes gone. It's been all Manchester United in the opening exchanges of this match. What can Everton do with the ball at feet here? Gray finds Digne in towards Gordon, who cushions back to Damari Gray. Lovely turn away from McTominay, and infield pass to Gordon. It's good play from the Everton pair. Doucouré in central midfield now will carry the ball out to the right hand side. Short to Godfrey, back to Doucouré. 10 minutes gone, 0-0. Everton having some of the ball. Possession after 10 minutes is 80-20 in Manchester United's favour. Gives you some example of the way the game has gone so far. And they've had half chances, have the home team as well, but not taken. Early storm weather. Michael Keane looks crossfield to Godfrey. Midway inside the Manchester United half. Helps it on towards Townsend. Blocked by Shaw. Still on. Godfrey back to Yerry Mina. Back to his goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, who's all in green. Away to our right. Clips it out to the left-hand side. Flicked on by Digne on towards Gordon. Challenged by Lindelof. Breaks towards Digne. And there's a chance here. Solomon Rondon. He's in! Oh, and he just delayed too long to get the shot away. Varane comes to close him down, but suddenly from nothing, Everton were through.
I think it was offside as well, by the way. Yeah, he's offside. But that was 17 passes they played there, Everton, and they've broken through United in the end quite easily just by being patient. And as much as we can say they're offside and call it good defending, that was poor by United to allow that many passes and not putting Everton under any pressure. They really do need to close down a lot quicker and as a unit.
Yeah, as you say, Paul, the offside flag did go up after the play had come to an end. I think it was a little bit closer than you seem to think it was from my view of the replay there, but either way it was given as offside. It was great defending from Victor Lindelof, who came out to the near side to challenge the ball. That's where the gap came from. And in fact, I would suggest Rondon as well probably shouldn't have been offside there, Paul.
No, that's correct. He shouldn't have been offside. He'd never looked over his shoulder at all. But he always needs an advantage, him anyway, because he is not exactly blessed with pace.
Reunited with Rafa Benitez, Solomon Rondon for the third time in his career, together at Newcastle, and Dalian, professional, out in China as well. Not played for about 4 months or so. Rafa Benitez said that he needs time. He will be a massive asset to Everton Football Club, and certainly shown previously in the Premier League, certainly with West Brom and Newcastle, but maybe West Brom most notably, that he is more than good enough to play that leading man role in the Premier League. That wasn't too sharp from him there, however.
The thing about it as well, though, is that Rafa's saying he needs a bit of time and maybe to catch up and everything. He's actually doing it by him playing rather than him training and maybe playing in training games. He's actually saying you're going to get you've got 90 minutes, you're getting 90 minutes, I should say, to actually get your fitness in actual games.
Which is better, I would
Oh,
suggest,
yes, of course, yeah, it is better. A lot of managers wouldn't do it. They'll try and do it in just under 23 games and try and get them as fit as possible in training. But the best way of training is and getting match sharpness is in games, competitive games.
Started well here, Manchester United. But they have not opened the scoring. At TalkSport Live, by the way, if you want to get in touch, let us know where in the world you are listening to us. B, enjoying Renzo and Paulie P on his Saturday morning. That's you, Paulie P. You happy with that? Paulie P?
That's not bad, that, as it goes.
As nicknames you've been given, that's pretty PG. I quite like that one.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's fine.
But he's enjoying it. Benjamin with us in Ghana can't quite understand the selections of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. A few questions about why Donny van der Beek can't even get into this team. We'll maybe put that to Paul Parker when there's another break in play. Great to have you all with us. Lots of listeners in Ireland getting in touch as well. If you're in Ireland right now, send us a tweet at TalkSport Live. Let us know where you're with us. Listeners in Australia, burners in Chicago, New Zealand, South Africa. Great to have you with us. All over Africa to our partners out there. Great to have you with us. Back here, Everton want a free kick left-hand side. Digne will take it. It's midway inside United territory. Innocuous foul. Sees this chance come about. Digne's over it. They've sent Yerry Mina and Michael Keane forward here as Digne delivers towards them. Martial hooks away. I think he'll retrieve this ball before it bounces off as well. That's good effort from Martial. Oh, he just couldn't get there. No lack of effort there from Martial. Just couldn't keep that bouncing ball on. And that's a throw to Everton right-hand side. Godfrey on it, level with the penalty area.
Somehow Everton have taken the pressure off themselves. They've shifted United more back into their defending third, where before they couldn't get out their own defending third, and they've changed it around a little bit now, where they was dominated, and now they're getting a little bit of opportunities themselves.
And Townsend finds Gray, and Gray looks towards Gordon. It's away by Greenwood on the penalty spot, recovered by Mina. Mina's ball in, away by Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof's clearance wasn't great. Skimmed off the top of his boot. Gordon picks it up on this left-hand side. Wan-Bissaka tries a trademark diving tackle. Doesn't work out this time. Breaks to Demarai Gray. Tries a chip through. That's blocked. Recovered by the rejuvenated, reborn Demarai Gray. Here's Andros Townsend, who would fit that description as well. Back to goal. Right to Godfrey. Down the line to Townsend, who wants the foul. It's pushed by Luke Shaw, and that is a free kick on that far side.
He might not have got. He went down a bit easy, but Luke Shaw had no reason. Well, it's a push. You can see his arm extended out into his back. It's a push, and he's moaning at the assistant referee. Needless. All he had to do is just work his feet, facing the wrong way. Townsend, just let him go back, but impetuous.
Free kick over on that far side, won by Andros Townsend, to open the scoring when Crystal Palace won 3-1 at Old Trafford last season in the Premier League. That was September 2020. It was only goal in the Premier League last season. And he delivers this ball in here. Flicked on! Oh, Michael Keane with the flick at the near post. Could have got anywhere. Begging to be turned home. I thought that might just nestle in the bottom corner. It goes wide.
I have to say, I mean, this was improvised, I think, by Michael Keane there. It wasn't the greatest of free kicks, but he's just gone low and he's got himself in front of Luke Shaw a little bit too easily to be perfectly honest. Didn't have to work hard. Luke Shaw never done his job properly, and it must go about, 2 feet wide of the post, but it was an opportunity made out of nothing, really.
At the other end, Manchester United looked to get back on the front foot. They're by the corner flag, right-hand side with Greenwood. Everton on to Wan-Bissaka, who goes down, having been tackled. No foul there, he stayed down. Everton clear long towards Rondon, who wins one header, then wins the second header from his first header. Helped on by Townsend towards the run of Decore, intercepted by Lindelof, and the home team, Manchester United, retake possession with Luke Shaw. To Martial, left-hand side, running at Townsend. Infield to Fred, who finds a pocket of space. Square to McTominay. Wan-Bissaka is up, here he is now, he's infield. Finds Greenwood on the outside, seeing so much of the ball here, Mason Greenwood. Onto McTominay, reverse pass, low cross, blocked by Keane, corner United.
I mean, that was good play by United. All of a sudden, Wan-Bissaka's popped up. I think he used that as a decoy, didn't he? Just to take a rest up there and then join in the play when United come forward again. But in the end, a good little passage of play by United. They get him behind. It's just to cross from McTominay. Maybe should have put a bit of air in it rather than trying to drill it.
Corner right-hand side, 17 minutes gone, 0-0. Fernandes, short, Greenwood controls, crosses, lovely ball in, it's away by Mina. Shaw gets the bounce on the edge, straight to Godfrey though with his header, and now Everton could break here. Godfrey is on his way forward, he's got 4 passes on, eventually he's got to give it to somebody. He finds Andros Townsend, held up by Fred, back to Godfrey, right-footed cross, Varane heads up in the air in the area, Decore forward, Gordon might get this here. End-line left-hand side. Cuts in, Gordon, right-footed, crosses blocked by Cavani, not a good cross, shouts of handball, in hope rather than expectation for those Everton fans. Into Cavani, then Fernandes. Good challenge, Gordon. Good challenge, Alan. Everton fancy this one now. Demarai Gray, left-hand side, slows things up and chips it into the centre circle. And it's the Everton fans you can hear on our effects microphones. Full-throated support for their team. As much as people love a goal, Paul, they do love a tackle, don't they?
Yeah. They're enjoying this season more than the last one. One, because there's fans in the stadium, but more than anything, they've taken off the handbrake on challenges now. We're seeing grown men allowed to make contact and show a little bit of aggression, controlled aggression when they make a challenge. And for me, I love it. I enjoyed to see players being able to tackle.
Big flick up from Pickford towards Rondon, who wins the header, but he can't find Andros Townsend. And Anthony Martial retrieves it on the halfway line. Forward to the captain, Bruno Fernandes. Crossfield towards Greenwood. Dina's done well to get that header, captain to captain. Off the field for a throw on this right-hand side. In front of Rafa Benitez, up on the edge of his technical area, as ever, in smart suit and coat.
I don't think he'll be a tracksuit manager, Tom.
Though he seems like he'd probably enjoy being in a tracksuit.
No, I mean, I just don't think his body shape just really allows him really to wear one nowadays.
Suit for the street, tracksuit in private time.
Yes, that's
like,
right.
Like we all are, really.
Yeah.
Especially after a year of lockdowns, you know.
Yeah.
I'm definitely at least one belt loop longer than I used to be. 20 minutes gone here. Still goalless. Certainly Man United had the better of the first 10. Everton made better of the second. Won the ball well here on the halfway line. Gordon's loving getting stuck in. He's enjoying his first Premier League start for 10 months.
It's about the third time he's been down. He doesn't get up quick though, does he?
Maybe it depends on how hard he's getting kicked.
No, but he's actually making the challenges.
Maybe it's how hard he kicks them.
Good answer.
He's getting stuck in nonetheless, as is McTominay here, who's just tripped over the leg of referee Michael Oliver. We do play on note, they're both alright. Here's Fred, 15 yards over the halfway, left hand side, finds Martial, up against Townsend, into Fernandes, back to Fred on the far side. Fred in field, right-footed cross towards Cavani! Good save. Jordan Pickford down low to his right to make it. Cavani didn't quite make the corner. He gave Pickford the chance. Still a smart stop.
It was a really good stop, but it's just the defending, and I tell you what, Digne's kind of got caught in between. Michael Keane got caught in between. He got sucked in. I don't know who he was, the player was, but he got sucked more towards the near post. Cavani's on his own. Couldn't do any more with the header, and he's headed it down as well, and that's why it was a difficult one for Pickford.
Cavani looking for his first Premier League goal of the season, first goal in any competition this season. You've got to feel that a sharper Cavani may well have put that in the back of the net. Free header from 10 yards out. That should go in.
There wasn't great pace on the cross though, Tom, to be perfectly honest. He had to add a little bit to it because it was more of a floated cross. Nothing on it, no zip on it for him to use that pace on the cross to maybe that would have helped him. The pace on the cross would have helped him to get more pace off of his head. Paul
Parker in generous mood today to Edinson Cavani.
I like him. I think he's good.
17 goals last season in all competitions for Man United. That's what got him this new contract at the club. There's some talk he might be going away on a couple of occasions, as Fred has brought down Damari Gray here on the halfway line. Free kick to Everton. The Toffees players saying to the referee that's surely got to be a yellow. Not given by Michael Oliver. What about the save from Jordan Pickford? He gets it up and away, and white for a corner as well.
It was reasonably close to him, but because of the wetness on top of the pitch, it's come off quicker, and he's had to go down low, reasonably close to him. And the thing about you just mentioned there, the way he's pushed it away to his side, because anything a little bit front, there was enough players around just to have a tap in.
Delivery in towards Yerry Mina. It's away by McTominay as far as Digne. Cushion to Godfrey, left hand side, up against Wan-Bissaka, who'll be desperate to dive in as usual. Back to Gordon. He finds Alan. Centre of the pitch, chip towards Yerry Mina. We thought somebody must be behind him. Nobody was, and it's out for a goal kick.
So in other words, by doing that, the way he reacted there says that was a bad ball. If that was meant for me, that was an awful ball.
Was it a bad ball?
Yeah, it was a bad ball. It was a nothing ball. It was a straight ball. What was he going to do with it, really? It was a percentage ball, really. He should have given it wide. It should have gone wide and, started play again. But he's put a ball in central, just in the air. Hit and hope more than anything.
Interesting match so far between Manchester United and Everton as we get to a quarter of it down. 22.5 minutes of the first half gone, and the score is 0-0. Here's Greenwood, right-hand side, level with the penalty area into Bruno Fernandes, who controls and goes back to Greenwood. First time to McTominay. On towards Wan-Bissaka, whose cross is blocked by Digne, and it's a corner to Manchester United.
Tell you what, if you're looking at it, if the Everton fans, I think, are the ones who are actually showing it, or we're hearing them, they're happy the way the game's going. They're from that start where United's had a lot of the ball, not much created, they've suddenly turned the game around. They're getting those little opportunities, getting a lot of the ball in the attacking third and making opportunities.
Corner in from Fernandes, Paul, cleared away by Everton. Fernandes returns it again. Chested down by Alan, then away by Digne. Clearance off. Digne was waiting for it to come in. And it's another corner which comes and goes without much threat.
We're just seeing a typical game at Old Trafford at the moment in time. United had that little mini burst at the start of it. They've lost their way a little bit. We're not seeing anything at all of Fernandes, and that just says a lot really about where United are at the moment. He's not getting the ball in areas where he can try and be creative.
Luke Shaw far side, over the halfway into Martial. First time back to him. Moving the ball a bit quicker now, Manchester United. First time passes. Fred tries one, straight to Doucouré. And then he tries to foul him, fails to do so. Doucouré releases very nicely to Andros Townsend, who's over the halfway. Doucouré running right-hand side. Here he is now, cuts it back. Solomon Rondon! First touch, lobbed it up in the air to himself. He had to volley it then. They gave the defender a chance to block, and he did.
I have to say that Everton, when they do go forward, they look like they've got more about them than United. They go forward with authority more than United. It's a bit tentative the way they go forward, Manchester United. They need more about themselves, and at the moment in time, I think the fans could be calling for Ronaldo on the pitch just to give them that belief that they're going to score a goal, because they don't look like scoring a goal, Manchester United. Martial is just playing 1 and 2 touch. He's not getting the ball and wanting to run at Godfrey. Godfrey isn't the quickest on his feet. Got good recovery, but he's not, his feet-wise, he's not that quick. So why isn't Martial trying to pin him down and run at him?
I think you can guarantee whatever the score, the fans here would want Ronaldo on the pitch. Only on the bench right now, though, is Cristiano. First time on a Premier League bench since 2007 for Cristiano Ronaldo. That was the game here against West Ham when Carlos Tevez scored, and West Ham stayed in the Premier League that day, but more because Wigan and Sheffield United played out their own thing at the DW, if memory serves. 25 minutes gone here. Goalless, but interesting between Manchester United and Everton. As Paul Parker says, it's rather typical of home games for Man United these days, where they've lost last week against Aston Villa. They've lost the last 9 times they've lost. It's been here, not been away from home, as Greenwood tries a shot from distance. It's easily saved by Jordan Pickford. Rain starting to fall, surface getting a bit skiddier and slippier, so worth an effort from Greenwood, but didn't quite get hold of it. Just seeing a replay of that chance for Solomon Rondon. It's a lovely cut back to him, but he's just got ahead of the ball, hasn't he, before he can strike it first time, and that cost him.
I mean, it wasn't a bad touch, but it was just a little bit underneath him. He's actually hit it into the ground as well.
Gordon's poor pass here, intercepted by Wan-Bissaka. Up to the halfway line, Mason Greenwood in from the right. Running at Alan, running at Digne, running at Gordon, beating them all. Looking crossfield to Martial, who brings it down the chest. Up against Godfrey, in the area, tries to cut in between him and Townsend, does so. Took a bit of a flick off the Everton man, slowed it up. Fernandes, crossfield to Wan-Bissaka, who tries a volleyed ball in. Missed the flight, missed the ball, that's a goal kick.
Oh, that was horrible. I have to say that was a lovely pass, I must say, from Fernandes, by the way, to pick him out. He's just virtually, it was like a no-look pass. The way he just saw Wan-Bissaka in space. Wan-Bissaka took his eye off the ball. He got caught in 2 minds. Should I control it? Should I go first time? And by the time he made his mind up, the ball had gone past him.
Really interesting that the game has sort of petered out, isn't it, for Man United? They were really bossing it for 10-12 minutes and don't seem to be rediscovering that dominance in this game. Is that because Everton have improved?
Oh, Everton have definitely improved, but it's about Manchester United. Don't grab hold of it. They do this so many times. It's what the way they play, and that's the problem. There's no cohesion in their play. I keep saying it, but it's an actual fact.
McTominay and Digne have combined here as they battle for the ball. Digne cleared it. McTominay, I think, caught him when the ball had gone. He stayed down. And there's a few Everton players furious with the Scotland midfielder, including Yerry Mina, who love to get stuck into these sorts of things. Just seeing the replay of the initial challenge on Gordon.
He's trying to pick,
and then Digne
wrong.
Was down, and he tried to pick him up.
That's wrong.
That's what's annoyed Yerry Mina. And still going on here, Doucouré and Yerry Mina love getting stuck into these sorts of things. Pickford too, Shaw and Townsend now getting into it. And from a pretty innocuous moment, tempers have flared.
Yeah, I mean, that was wrong for him to go and try and pick someone up just to prove a point, saying you're not hurt. We all got general ideas, but you don't go and do it because there's always that chance. It's disrespectful, really, from Scott McTominay, what he's gone and done.
Well, Mike Oliver's been watching the whole thing from the vestry, and he's about to dish out some punishment. Of course, VAR in action today, as Stuart Atwell is watching on the monitors back at Stockley Park, West London HQ. I think we might be seeing a flurry of yellow cards here. I'm not sure I've seen anything that's red-worthy in the last minute or so. We're getting a replay now, maybe there's something. Yerry Mina was certainly doing some shoving and pushing.
Decore has done it as well. His arms are up quite high as well.
Not getting any notification that there's anything in particular that VAR are looking at here in terms of reds or anything like that. Michael Oliver seems to have it under control. Does give me a quick moment to say hello to Shane, who is listening on Saturday night in Australia. Always enjoys a late game of football, and he thinks Ronaldo will come on in the second half and swing the game in United's favour. I should mention earlier, we mentioned Bernard G. Smith, but we didn't read the entire tweet, and by we I mean me. Morning from Chicago, great way to start the day, listening, celebrating Garrett and Kelly's wedding day later today. Congratulations to Garrett and Kelly. Do pass on our regards. Come on United, he says as well, so he's got his priorities right. Football first, wedding later. 30 minutes gone, we're back underway, and I don't think anyone got yellow carded there.
No, good refereeing in the end.
We do get back underway with Everton coming forward. Here's Gordon running at Lindelof, takes him on the outside, gets to the end line, chance here for Townsend, blocked by Shaw in the 6-yard box, cleared away, recovered by Damari Gray on the right hand side. As this game goes on, it's the away team that look more and more dangerous here at Old Trafford. Recently lost to West Ham in the Carabao Cup, recently lost in the Premier League to Aston Villa. They did win in the Champions League in midweek, but it certainly wasn't an easy victory. It took a late Ronaldo special with a winner that looked offside to get those points in the Champions League. What about this chance here for Everton, Paul?
It was a wonderful chance. It was good play by Anthony Gordon as well. It's gone past Lindelof far too easy on the outside, puts the ball across the 6-yard box, and in the end Townsend gets to it just after Rondon's missed it. And I tell you what, if Luke Shaw ain't there, the ball's going goal bound, by the way. Not great, wouldn't have been great pace in it, but it was all about was De Gea in the right position to get there, but Luke Shaw's done well to get across the front.
32 minutes gone, goalless at Old Trafford. Martial on the far side, looking infield, challenged by Townsend, throw to Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo has gone out for a bit of a warm-up. That was the applause you heard a few seconds ago as Everton were attacking there.
I think everyone might have taken their eyes off the game now just to watch him warm up.
You speak for yourself. I was looking at Anthony Gordon, the new Ronaldo, some would say. Everton fans, probably. A good challenge by Digne, probably not actually. Up to Solomon Rondon, he'll find Decore, left to Gordon, who's been involved heavily here. Over the halfway, the young Englishman onto Damari Gray. Gordon carries on his run, he's goal side of Lindelof, who's totally lost him. Cross comes in, blocked by Wan-Bissaka. Fred sweeps it up. Lindelof gets it clear to Bruno Fernandes, back to Fred, short to McTominay, return to Fernandes. Good play by Manchester United, forward to Cavani, that's not a good ball. Challenged by Digne, and Everton retake it. Damari Gray, lovely skill, turn of pace, driving shot, good save by David De Gea, breaks to Solomon Rondon, left hand side, back to Gordon, who slows things up. Brilliant play, Damari Gray.
Fantastic play, Damari Gray. The way he turned, he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and United made it easy. There was a parting of the waves there, by the way. Shocking defending from Manchester United through the middle. Two centre-halves got it completely wrong, and De Gea has got Manchester United out of jail again. He was brilliant midweek. He's made the save of the game so far. Manchester United are the poorer relations at this moment in time in this game of football.
That's a really good save by David De Gea, who has recaptured near to his best form in recent weeks for Manchester United. That penalty save at London Stadium seems to have given him a massive boost, and he has taken a bit of stick, hasn't he, David De Gea, in recent years, but that's another really, really good stop to add to his recent portfolio.
That's exactly right, and can thank Mark Noble then, Manchester United fans, for him recapturing that form.
We can thank Mark Noble for being England's greatest man. Good challenge here by Digne on the far side, releases Gordon again, who's away. Greenwood surely tripped him up there. Referee's going to give this, and right now everything is running through Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, I think this moment in time the game carries on as it is in this mode. I think Ollie has got to make a half-time substitution. he cannot. He's going to have to actually show that he's concerned, because it's all going wrong at the moment. Everton are the team who look like they've got more about them to go and score a goal. As much as United have had the ball and got in the attacking third and gone wide and put crosses in, you don't believe that anything's really going to happen. You're not saying they're going to score soon. There's no belief there watching this game that they're going to score a goal in this moment in time.
Well, he's already had the excuse that we played in midweek in the Champions League, and now we've got the early kick-off. He's been talking about that again this week, as he did last season. There is something in it. They certainly look more fresh here to Everton. Digne's free kick left-hand side, 40 yards from goal, away easily by McTominay. Greenwood then jumps into Damari Gray. Gray's foot was a bit high there. No reason to crowd the referee from some of these Man United players. It's an honest attempt to get the ball. But the home fans trying to make a bit of a fuss as well. I think Gray pulls out of that challenge before he makes any real challenge.
He doesn't actually touch him at all, really, and he's actually hitting more into the rib cage than his leg anyway.
Well, free kick was given. That seemed about fair enough to me. No yellow card again from Michael Oliver, who's only given one so far, and that was to Mason Greenwood for that challenge a minute or so ago on the runner Anthony Gordon. Here's Luke Shaw down the left-hand side. Cavani, who's been pretty anonymous, by one header so far. It was his through ball to him. Good battling by Rondon to win it back for Everton. Lob pass by Doucouré, releases Townsend right-hand side, who takes on Varane. Again, the United backline is all over the place. Townsend's delivery, Doucouré! Blocked by Wan-Bissaka. That looked like the chance there. To the right man, Doucouré, who loves that spot around 12-13 yards out, but that's a good block and United can break away.
It was a wonderful block. It was needed as well. He was central of goal, and you think yourself, De Gea would have to do something unbelievable to stop that one, because he got good contact as well, Doucouré.
Loves those little spots, Abdoulaye Doucouré. He thought he'd scored, I thought he'd scored. Wan-Bissaka didn't allow that to happen, but again, Paul, it's a player around the penalty spot for Everton, completely unmarked. They've found him, and it's taken a third in this game, last-ditch block to stop the goal.
But it's a concern when your left-sided centre-half is out near the touchline trying to stop a cross from a wide right player, and there's no one in the, and someone's on their own in the middle. 4 Manchester United players in the box and no one picking up Doucouré. Totally wrong, and Varane was too far away to block the cross. Didn't have to go past him, Townsend, to cross the ball. That's how poor defending it was by Varane.
No Maguire today, out with an injury. So it's Varane and Lindelof at the back for Manchester United. They come forward here, McTominay. Cross comes in, Martial's head, another poor header from him. Cleared away, not very far. And then Gordon lets the ball run out of play with a little dummy for a throw to Everton left-hand side. 37 minutes gone, it's 0-0.
Tell you what, Everton have come into the game unbelievable. I mean, this is Rafa Benitez all over it. But I'll tell you what, Anthony Gordon has got stronger and stronger as this game's gone on. This first half's gone on, I should say. He's got more in the game. He's got a lot to do in the way that Everton has suddenly become a little bit of an attacking force against Manchester United.
Is that what happens when you're out there? Maybe you're a young player and you've got some doubts. When things start turning your way, all of a sudden everything starts turning your way.
Yeah, it is. I keep saying it, but confidence is massive in life. It's definitely really, really important in footballer. Self-belief as well, and that's what's mostly happening now. He's starting believing in himself now, and everyone's talked about him for ages. He's made his debut at 16. He's 20 and he's still not a regular yet in his side. So it's a little bit about self-belief, really. Someone giving you that belief, and maybe Rafa Benitez is actually giving it to him, something that Ancelotti never done.
Good strength there from Doucouré to win it back for Everton. He was fouled too, but the referee plays on. Damari Gray held up by Fred. Cavani has stayed down. Fernandes has then fouled Gray. Still we play on here as Man United show some pretty visible signs of frustration as Everton get stronger and stronger in this game. Free kick long way from goal. Cavani still feigning injury on the halfway line.
Yeah, it's not good for United. Cavani's come in and he hasn't played a lot of football at all, so he's trying to find his feet. He needs games on the bounce to get that, but it's not going to happen for him to get any run of games to find his feet back into the Premier League again, or into the Manchester United team, I should say. But Ollie's got to make changes soon, because it could go away from him this game.
Free kick right hand side, about 40 yards from goal. Gray is over it, delivered in towards Yerry Mina, who wins the header. It's looping. It may well go down as a shot on target, but a comfortable catch for David De Gea.
Yeah, I do wonder about this, Tom, this shallow defending I'm seeing now from free kicks in wide areas, holding high lines. I find it worries me. One really good ball behind will always cause you a problem.
It's something Memo Pellegrini used to use with Man City and West Ham. He uses it in La Liga now as well, and I always found it absolutely baffling because his teams keep conceding goals with free kicks dropped in behind. But yeah, as you say, it's maybe in the VAR age, with offside being given for minute things, it's more likely to work. Just get the ball away.
Yep.
Final 5 minutes of the first half here, Paul. It's one of those things I would suggest that the longer it goes on, the more it's favoured Everton, and Man United might want to get to that whistle here.
Yeah, they do. I think they really do. Ole Gunnar wants it as well, I believe as well, so he can actually maybe talk to them, just let them have a breather and try and understand where they are, because at the moment in time they're not gelling at all. There's nothing happening between players. Seems like they're like a team who don't know each other. Martial has gone missing. Luke Shaw has suddenly stopped going forward. From starting reasonably well, Wan-Bissaka, he looks like a bag of nerves now, even more so than what he was previous when he gets the ball given to him. Cavani can't find any space, and Fernandes, I think he's in the same hole as Martial at this moment in time.
Throwing to Everton, down the line by Digne, intercepted by Mason Greenwood, who got the final touch, and it's another throw to Everton on that left-hand side, which Digne will take.
But then you look at Everton, you look at Decore, you look at Anthony Gordon, you think Savona, you look Alan in midfield as well. They're controlling the midfield, not with overpassing and everything that goes with it, just with the fact of just strength, getting possession, moving the ball quickly. And Manchester United, as mentioned by Ronaldo recently in the press, he's asking them to move the ball quicker, and they don't shift the ball quick enough.
But despite that, Everton have yet to take the lead in this game, as Digne's through ball was intercepted by McTominay. Greenwood runs towards the halfway line, challenged by Digne. Fred to Cavani on to Greenwood. Chance here for Martial. That's a good ball, but it's a really well-timed challenge by Godfrey. Shaw into the area. Up by Keane, not very far away. Gordon heads back to Digne quite cleverly, and it's cleared by the fullback and captain of Everton, but only for a throw on the right-hand side for Manchester United.
Yeah, that was better from Manchester United. The ball was just a smidgen, maybe short, or maybe the pace of Godfrey that's got him there. It was a dangerous one, really, when he made that challenge, but it was a good challenge by Godfrey.
Wan-Bissaka's throw into Bruno Fernandes, who goes back towards Victor Lindelof. Centre circle is Varane. One of the high-profile summer signings that many have cited as why they think Solskjaer's side could challenge for the title this season. Cavani round the corner towards Greenwood, cleared away by Luca Digne. Thrown on the halfway line, right in front of Rafa Benitez, who has stayed on the edge of his technical area for the entirety of this first half, as opposed to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who likes to sit in the dugout here at Old Trafford watching his iPad.
I think the iPad's gone now, isn't it? Is it still there?
It depends if he saw the last episode of Vigil or not. If he hasn't, then he'll probably be in the dugout watching it. Gripping submarine drama from the BBC. We're all watching over here, folks. Look into it. Lovely touch, Bruno Fernandes, and he finds Martial! What a huge moment that is for Anthony Martial, who scores. Lovely set by Bruno Fernandes, and didn't Manchester United, and didn't Anthony Martial need that? Just before half-time, they take the lead, 1-0.
Yeah, it was something out of nothing, really, and Martial was suddenly come out of that hole, stuck his head up, saw something maybe happening, got to his feet, out of the hole, and he has absolutely struck it so well. Now he needs to build from that. There's been too many times where he scores goals, and that's it, and then he just disappears. You don't see him in the game. We haven't seen him in this game, but the most important thing in football is to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's gone and done that. That takes away everything from before. We've seen Martial now has got Manchester United out of trouble. Now he's a hero.
First goal of the season for United, for Martial, his first goal since scoring 2 against Southampton in that 9-0 victory here back in February. And we're just seeing the replay here. It's such a great drive, high and away from Pickford, who couldn't get up there quick enough. And it's, once again, vindication for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who picked Martial, and he got some stick for it, no doubt, including on this programme. but that's why he's done it. He'll say, I got it right, and he has.
And that's what football allows your hero or villain, to be perfectly honest. But I wonder if that got a little bit of a deflection or it just moved, because Pickford just seemed to have his arms set one way and it's just shifted more to his right hand side.
Well, it's harsh on Everton. Of course, the narrative isn't just about Manchester United. They've played well here, they've set up well, they've got an injury crisis, and they'll be annoyed, won't they, that they've conceded that goal, considering they were cruising to a level scoreline at half-time.
They were. They got an overload on this near side, and they just forgot about the far side, and that's how Martial's got in, stole in from nowhere.
And now they want a second here, Manchester United, which may well end the need to bring on Ronaldo today.
Well, that won't happen. He'll have to get him on. He wants that golden boot.
He might well, at 36, need to settle for a few days on the bench this season. Though I'm not going to tell him that. Throw in far side to Manchester United, which Shaw will take. Fred forward, challenged by Yerry Mina and Alan. Everton win it back. 45 minutes are now up. Long towards Gray, challenged by Lindelof. And 2 minutes will be added on at the end of the opening 45. And Rafa Benitez will now be hoping his team can hold on until that whistle. Round the corner from Greenwood. Wan-Bissaka leads it from McTominay, challenged by Yerry Mina. We'll just try and keep Everton in possession here. He's still got players on him, so he goes back to Pickford, clipped upfield long. Rondon can't get it. Townsend can. Fred intercepts the forward pass, and Shaw takes over for Manchester United. In the centre of the field, he carries it left. Goalscorer Martial now takes on Godfrey. Into Cavani, back to Martial. Martial shoots! Well, it's on target from Martial, who might not have tried that 5 minutes ago. Didn't quite have the power when it's saved by Jordan Pickford.
Yes, correct that. We wouldn't have done that. He would have passed that. But now he's got that little bit behind him. He's going to shoot everything now. He wants a second now, without a doubt. That's the way he is, Martial.
It was his worst goal-scoring tally in all of his years at Man United last season. Martial with just 7 in all competitions, 6 full season. His best was the previous campaign of 23. Doesn't have to score against Everton. It's now 7 in 13 against the Toffees in all competitions. So maybe it was the right opponent at the right time for him. Luke Shaw on the halfway will knock it back to Lindelof. Down the right side to Wan-Bissaka. Bruno Fernandes, quiet today but involved in the goal. Lindelof left to Varane. Just a reminder, we are back with you after this game has finished for live coverage of Chelsea against Southampton, except for our listeners in Ireland. You'll be listening to Wolves against Newcastle United, and later Brighton against Arsenal is our feature match with John Anderson and Trevor Stevens, so make sure you're with us for that. Long cross here from United, caught by Jordan Pickford, who'll more than happily hold this for as long as possible. Rolls it out to Mina, and that's the half-time whistle, and it's a half where Manchester United have done just about enough to lead at the break. They were certainly strong in the opening 10. They fell away, allowing Everton back into the game, who didn't take their chances. 8 shots in total from the away side. Only one really tested David De Gea, who was up to it from the long shot from Demarai Gray. Then Anthony Martial gave the Red Devils the lead just before the whistle blew. At half-time, it's 1-0 to Manchester United. Analysis to follow. Stay with us. You're listening to Premier League Live.
From the terraces to the touchline, if you're the ultimate football fan, you need to subscribe to the Game Day podcast from TalkSport.
Oh yes! He's done it again!
It's the twice-weekly Premier League roundup that brings you big-name guests, in-depth previews and tough-tackling analysis from the world's biggest football league.
Oh, what a finish! He's beaten the keeper to it!
Feel the might of the top flight. Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get bowled over with Following On, the fast-paced cricket podcast from TalkSport that'll hit you for 6. It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news.
And that's a beautiful straight drive.
Boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests.
Oh, you little ripper!
And and fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, that might be out.
Don't get caught out. Subscribe now to the Following On podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
They faced bitter prejudice.
What they had to endure was horrific.
They battled injustice.
Basically, they threw the rule book away.
But their talent was inextinguishable, and they rose to become sporting icons that etched their legacy on the history of English football.
What a strike! What a finish!
Coming in from the cold is an exclusive 6-part documentary that chronicles the struggles and the triumphs of black footballers in the English game. Join Jessica Crichton as she uncovers the untold stories and hears firsthand from a host of superstar names, including John Barnes, Viv Anderson, Luther Blissett, Andy Cole, Rachel Yankee, John Fashanu, and many more.
These guys went through it all, and they are true inspiration.
Coming in from the cold, the history of black footballers in the English game. Listen to the full series now, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tom Rennie here to tell you about a new soccer podcast called Week in the Tackle with me and Brian Dunseth.
That's right, Tom. Well, join us for new episodes every Monday as we argue about all the top soccer stories we think are worth tackling.
Plus, we'll welcome the occasional guest to join in on the debate.
Strong opinions, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle, available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts.
If it's a big story in soccer, we'll tackle it.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Premier League Live. Our first match today comes from Old Trafford. It's Manchester United up against Everton. The Red Devils lead at half-time. Fernandes has it, and he finds Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side of the area, and that's a lovely ball in. Martial! Oh, he had to score. 4 yards out, back post, and he floats it wide.
You think he's going to hang, he doesn't. He has jumped far too early, and by the time he's headed it, he's on his way down. He couldn't control it.
Flicked on by Digne on towards Gordon. Challenged by Lindelof, breaks towards Digne, and there's a chance here. Solomon Rondon, he's in! Oh, and he just delayed too long to get the shot away. Varane comes to close him down, but suddenly from nothing, Everton were through.
That was poor by United to allow that many passes and not putting Everton under any pressure. They really do need to close down a lot quicker and as a unit.
Fernandes back to Fred on the far side. Fred in field, right-footed cross towards Cavani. Good save. Jordan Pickford down low to his right to make it. Cavani didn't quite make the corner. It gave Pickford the chance. Still a smart stop. Good play by Manchester United. Forward to Cavani. That's not a good ball. Challenged by Digne. And Everton retake it. Tamari Gray. Lovely skill. Turn of pace. Driving shot. Good save by David De Gea.
De Gea has got Manchester United out of jail again. He was brilliant midweek. He's made the save of the game so far. Manchester United are the poorer relations at this moment in time in this game of football.
Lob pass by Decore. Releases Townsend right-hand side, who takes on Varane. Again, the United backline is all over the place. Townsend's delivery. Decore! Oh! Blocked by Wan-Bissaka. That looked like the chance there. Lovely touch, Bruno Fernandes. And he finds Martial! What a huge moment that is for Anthony Martial, who scores. Lovely set by Bruno Fernandes. And didn't Manchester United and didn't Anthony Martial need that? Just before half-time, they take the lead, 1-0.
That takes away everything from before. We've seen Martial now has got Manchester United out of trouble. Now he's a hero.
Yeah, that's the story of it in the opening 45 minutes at Old Trafford. 1-0 to Manchester United against Everton. Paul Parker watched the game alongside me, a Premier League winner for Manchester United, of course. So I'm just speaking slower and slower while Paul gets his cappuccino. Looks like he's ready. That's good news. Great professionalism, Paul. Paul, good first half in the end for Man United in terms of leading at half-time. But did they play well?
No, it's very similar to what we saw midweek, really, in that kind of performance. But this time they've managed to go and score the first goal, and that's kind of he's changed his team talk, I'm sure, but he's going to ask for a bit more. He's going to need them to perform, go on and win the game, but perform a bit better than that. They can't keep playing in this fashion, this stop-start and way they're playing with nothing at all going on. They're playing like a team that don't know each other. Midfield is still being played through far too easily by really inferior. When you look at Everton, this isn't a good Everton team as such, but they're being played through. And yes, you should have to say that Everton have done really, really well. Shouldn't forget that. They've played really well. They don't deserve to be 1-0 down. But Manchester United have gone and got that important first goal. I said they needed that in this game. Now they need to go on and build it and start getting a bit of momentum and start pushing themselves forward to look like a Manchester United side who can threaten to win the Premier League.
What does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer do here? Because as you mentioned, and as has been evident to us, that they haven't played particularly well, but they do have the lead. And with the scoreline being as is, does that mean he might be saying to Ronaldo, you might get the full day off?
I don't think he should do. I think he just might need him because he might just force people to lift their games. He has got that bit about him. He'll go out there and tell him what he wants, and he wants that ball delivered into him as quick as possible because he hasn't got that change of pace he had many moons ago. So he wants it as early as possible to give him the opportunity to twist, turn, or to be in space to be able to get his shots in. So he wants them to move quickly, and he wants them to adapt. He'd want them to adapt to his strengths. That's what he will do. So Ronaldo coming on, you don't write that one off. I don't believe he's going to sit there and be content to be there for 90 minutes. Forget about him being 36. He believes he's still 26.
Now, the injury list for Everton is massive right now, and it's all the players who might well come on in this sort of scenario or be playing. So those currently playing could come on. No Dominic Calvert-Lewin, no Richarlison, Andre Gomez, Alex Iwobi. That's probably their attacking options in the squad unavailable to make changes. So what can Rafa do to get back in this game?
I really don't think he's got anything on the bench that can make anything of a difference. And I'm just looking at it, and I don't know some to know, but the ones I do know, I say they can't change the game to make the opportunities better for them to go and win it. I really don't believe that they've got that, Everton. When you look at them, they're tried and tested, a lot of them, none more so than Tom Davies. You always thought he was going to be the one. He hasn't surfaced at all really from when he was a youth and looking like it was going to happen for him. So there's nothing there for him to change it. He's got to rely on this 11 to maybe find something for him.
And we shall find out if they can in the second half. Paul Parker for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Elsewhere today in the Premier League, Brighton against Arsenal is our late feature game. John Anderson and Trevor Steven, your commentary team for that. Amongst the UK time 3 o'clock kickoffs, we have Burnley against Norwich, Leeds against Watford, and Wolves against Newcastle United. Andrew Self and Barry Swain with the Burnley and Leeds game respective, and Toby Gillis and Rufus Brevitt will bring you Wolves against Newcastle. That game is also our feature game for our listeners in Ireland. Around the world, you'll get Chelsea against Southampton. Russell Hargreaves and Paul Morton be your commentary team for that. Before that game, we can hear from the two managers, Thomas Tuchel and Ralph Hasenhüttl.
We have to question ourselves deeply and start to doubt each other. It's about stepping up, of course. It's about improving. The games were very, very difficult, very different from each other into the extremes. Man City is about high pressing and ball possession. Juventus is about deep defending and no ball possession. So we played against the extremes, and what we can predict is we play against another extreme team in high pressing now with Southampton. And the one thing that is the most important, to keep a clear head and be well prepared, and this is what we do.
Don't know what hurts more, when you have the chances but don't score, or you don't create chances. For me as a manager, sometimes it's better to see that we have chances, but in the end, there are some things missing, especially our filling up the box is not always good enough with players, and the higher rest defense we need. I don't think that we will get that many chances against Chelsea in the weekend. Completely different game against a strong side. But this is what we have analyzed after the game, well knowing that on this weekend we have to have different things to deliver, I think.
Yeah, big game that one for Chelsea, following a rough week for them in the Premier League and the Champions League for Southampton. They are struggling right now and need a victory. What a fillip it will be to win at Stamford Bridge today. That's our feature game for everyone who's not in Ireland today after this one. I might put it like that from now on. That makes it pretty clear. I think. Anyway, wherever you're listening to us, you get the second half of Man United Everton next. It's 1-0 to Man United at half-time. Second half follows. Stay with us. Paul Parker has gone to make me a cappuccino. You're listening to Premier League Live.
It's the ultimate fusion of football and celebrity.
The Best 11 podcast from Talk Sport.
Johnny Owen and Mark Webster interview the biggest names in popular culture.
Looking back at the role the beautiful game has played in their lives.
Paul Weller. Could I just start off apologising for last weekend?
Actor Stephen Graham. Good morning, Stevie.
Morning. Sharing their earliest football memories.
How they celebrated their team's successes.
Culminating in their all-time best 11.
Noel Gallagher.
Let's deal with the hangover and let's have it again after that.
The Best 11 podcast. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Tom Rennie. Join me for a weekly podcast, Week in the Tackle, available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm going to be joined by Brian Dunseth, MLS legend, to tackle the biggest stories from the week in soccer.
And the great thing about working with Tom and making Week in the Tackle is we're only going to be covering things we think are worth tackling.
This show is all about passion. What's going to get us riled up? What's going to get you riled up to give us all something to chew on?
We're not here to sit on the fence and tell you the stories of the day. That's what your phone's for. You'll be scrolling through Twitter while listening anyways.
Exactly. I'm scrolling through Twitter right now. I'll save you the trouble. It is all bad news. This show is about tackling all the news of the week, giving our take on why it's interesting and why we think you should know.
Who should be sacked? Who should be bought? Who should be sold? Who was right? Who was wrong?
Strong opinion, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle is available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts. If it's a big story in soccer, we'll tackle it.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
Been improving week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Women's Football Weekly Podcast.
With Faye Carruthers. All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
Cleared off the line by Steph Horton.
Including the Women's Super League.
Ellen White is there to tap it in.
The UEFA Women's Champions League.
Lana Clellan striking from outside the penalty area.
And the Euro 2021 qualifiers.
On the edge of the area to Emsley, and Emsley's going to finish it off.
Plus, all the home nations' international friendlies.
Lucy Bronze with the strike from the edge of the penalty area.
World-beating big match conversation.
There's Jodie Taylor.
Subscribe now to the Women's Football Weekly Podcast on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester United against Everton from Old Trafford. Tom Rennie and Paul Parker with you, the former Man United and England fullback. That's Paul, not me. This is Premier League Live. It's 1-0 to Manchester United at half-time. A goal from Anthony Martial, scored in the 43rd minute. His first goal of the season. His first goal since scoring two in the 9-0 victory over Southampton last season. Really important goal for him, and in fact he has just emerged from the tunnel along with the other Manchester United players, affecting a bit of a limp, but maybe that's to get even more applause from the Manchester United fans who he's walking alongside. Here's the teams, just checking to make sure there are no changes for either team. No, there aren't, so here they are. Man United, David De Gea in goal. Back four of Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, Raphael Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Fred and Scott McTominay, McSauce in midfield. Bruno Fernandes captains the team at number 10, Anthony Martial on the left, Mason Greenwood on the right. He's been booked in the first half. Edinson Cavani is up front. Bench, Dean Henderson, Eric Bailly, Paul Pogba, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jesse Lingard, Jadon Sancho, Alex Telles, Nemanja Matic and Donny van der Beek. As for Everton, Jordan Pickford in goal. Back four, Luca Digne, who captains the team, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Alan in the centre of midfield, Andros Townsend, Anthony Gordon and Damari Gray supporting Solomon Rondon, who is up front. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison both out injured. Benches: Asmir Begovic, Andy Lonergan, John Joe Kenny, Mason Holgate, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, Tom Davis, Jared Branthwaite, Charlie Whittaker and Lewis Dobbin. Michael Oliver is our referee. Paul Tierney, the fourth official. Stuart Atwell is the dreaded VAR. We are back underway. Start of the second half. Still plenty of pockets of empty seats as fans struggle to get a drink and a pie at Old Trafford. The facilities here certainly have been a topic of much discussion for many fans, and it might take a while for this stand to fill up again. Away to our left, the Stretford end. Still plenty of red seats there. One is currently filled by Cristiano Ronaldo on the subs bench. Our TV directors on our monitors have shown us him plenty of times at this point. Man United, red shirts, white shorts, black socks. They kick from right to left as we look towards the Stretford end. Everton, blue shirts, blue shorts, blue socks the other way, left to right as we're looking. White numbering and trim on those shirts. Paul Parker, a bit of a flat opening minute in the second half.
Yeah, hasn't gone as sharp. I was just looking maybe more for United to really take the game to Everton, to go at them straight away, play with a bit of intensity, and that's what they're lacking. And we've seen already it's still quite laboured going across the back. It's not really, I think, in my opinion, the way they should be playing this moment in time, because all they're doing is maybe allowing Everton to close them down and push them back.
Shaw on the halfway line, left-hand side for Manchester United. Goal side of Townsend, so room to run into. Crossfield to Greenwood, first time back to Fernandes. Well intercepted by Gordon, who was brilliant in the first half for Everton. Carries towards the halfway, straight into Fred, who's won it back. And there's a chance here on that far side, with Gordon now out of position for Wan-Bissaka. Held up by Digne, into Cavani, back to Mason Greenwood around the halfway, into McTominay, onto Fred, controls and turns and moves the ball left. Martial, the goal scorer, running at Godfrey, held up well by Godfrey, into Fernandes though, return to Martial, clear by Godfrey, shouts of offside, shouts of handball from the Everton defence, neither is given, it's a corner.
Yeah, that was better. That started from Luke Shaw, just got on the ball and just attacked space with it rather than just handball or make a pass. He attacked the space in front of him, and he got the pace up there for that passage of play for Manchester United. At the end of it, they've earned a corner.
Shaw is over it on this left-hand side. Man United's fifth corner of the match. Shaw's delivery, it's over everybody. Recovered at the back post by Mason Greenwood, who shifts and shoots. It's on target from the man who turned 20 this week, but it's a simple save for Pickford, who goes long early towards Gray. Wan-Bissaka intercepts, and Man United have it again. Luke Shaw takes over on the halfway line. 48 minutes gone. 1-0 to Manchester United. Premier League Live. Here's Bruno Fernandes on the halfway. Leaves it for McTominay. Well, it feels a bit, Paul, that Everton have lost a bit of their motivation since that goal's gone in.
Yeah, I mean, but be honest, they didn't start the first half very well either. I mean, it was about United having great possession, and to be honest, they can't even make an easy pass properly. United, Everton haven't got to work hard to stop Manchester United because they don't play at any tempo when they've got the ball. So Everton, in my opinion, will build themselves up slowly, and they'll get another opportunity. That's why United need that second goal, in my opinion.
Just 1-0 at the moment. 4 minutes gone in the second half. 49 up. Ball is with Godfrey on the halfway line for Everton. Into Andros Townsend, who turns away from Martial. Falls towards the halfway by Shaw. Into Decore, wants to release, and he's been caught out there by Fernandes and Fred. Fred then plays a pass into nowhere. Greenwood tries to make something of it. Digne, who captains Everton today, wins it, knocks it down the line. No chance for Rondon. Lindelof will get there. Sweeps it back to his goalkeeper David De Gea, all in yellow, away to our right. We'll just edge the ball forward. Made one really good save in the first half, David De Gea, when the score was still 0-0. In towards Fred from Varane. He'll find McTominay. On the halfway line is Greenwood, back to McTominay. Heavy pass back, but retrieves possession, does the Scottish international central midfielder. Pass back by Greenwood to Lindelof, a bit short, but Gray wasn't there. Everton unable to make the press count that time. Here's Fred, centre circle, forward quickly to Fernandes, turns away from Alain, slips it left to Cavani, back heel from Cavani to find Martial. Fernandes, Martial, first time, Martial, back to Fernandes, poor pass, Martial, Decore intercepts, up to Rondon, well held up, but he's poked to Townsend, he's poor. Shaw retakes it again, And it does feel like they're building up a head of steam here, Manchester United.
Yeah, they've been pretty sharp with the ball running into the box. It's just been the final pass, really. Martial on 2 occasions. When it's just been there, he just hasn't really delivered when they've earned the right to be there, but he's let them down at the end.
On the right-hand side, infield, Greenwood. So Wan-Bissaka, poor first touch, challenged by Digne. Surely a foul by Wan-Bissaka. Assistant's giving the throw in Everton's way, and no one's going to make a great fuss about that situation, but again, it just breaks down when it gets to the final third for Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, they just haven't really started in the way I think a lot of people would hope they would do, just playing with a little bit more belief. And that's still that massive problem. So midfield is a big, big problem for Manchester United. Signing Ronaldo, as far as I'm concerned, didn't guarantee winning the Premier League, didn't even, in my opinion, give them a chance of still winning it. They still got to sort their midfield out. There's too many midfields in this division which are better than Manchester United's.
Certainly raised expectation that they can challenge with the signing of Ronaldo, who's not on the field right now. He does sit on the bench for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team after a bit of rotation across the last week. 5 changes from Villarreal, 4 from Aston Villa. As Godfrey clears another attack that breaks down the line to Gray. Varane is there. Ooh. Under pressure, hits the thigh, shouts of handball from the Everton fans, not given by Michael Oliver. Into De Gea, onto Fred, and United have it again.
Yeah, you're going to get that shout when you're running facing your own goal. When you've got the Everton fans behind that goal as well. They're going to be shouting everything to get themselves back into the game.
We've barely touched the ball in this second half so far. Everton, similar story as Paul Parker was saying earlier to the start of the first half. Possession around 80-20 in the home team's favour. They didn't score in the first, Man United in that spell, and didn't score in the second either. Now Everton try and work their way through the thirds with the ball at feet. Gray has been challenged by Shaw. Comes off the Everton man last, and that's going to be a Man United throw on the halfway line, and that brief sojourn for Everton of having the ball comes to an end. And here come Man United again. Victor Lindelof on the lip of the centre circle in his own half. Left to Shaw, forward to Martial, moving it quickly again. United, nicely done. Martial, flick to Fernandes, challenged by Mina. Townsend surely shoved by Shaw. Yes, he was. Try saying that after a few drinks. We are just hearing, Paul, that there's a change in the offing here for Manchester United. Jadon Sancho is about to enter the fray.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's he going to do there. Is he going to maybe keep Martial? I don't think he can take Martial off because of the fact he's got his goal, and he doesn't want to really affect his confidence any more than what it already is at this moment in time. The goal has helped him. Could it be Cavani coming off and Martial going into the middle?
Well, it did seem like Cavani had a bit of a limp as he came out at the start of the second half, so maybe that could have something to do with it. As soon as we know, we will let you listeners know that Jadon Sancho is getting stripped off and ready to come on. Here's Damari Gray in the centre circle for Everton. To the right-hand side is Ben Godfrey. Here's Townsend away from Shaw. Been a good battle that between those two today. Townsend turns him and he slips in Rondon. Lindelof gets across him, breaks back to Godfrey, challenged by Shaw. Townsend is there, but Fred will clear on the end line. Down the line too, but Martial can't get there. Just holds up a bit with the run. The referee stopped it here because Luke Shaw has stayed down away to our right, holding his face.
Oh, I don't know where that's happened. I mean, I saw him slide in. I'm wondering how his head's taken a knock, to be perfectly honest.
It's a good ball in, wasn't it, towards Solomon Rondon, but didn't quite look sharp there, Rondon, as he saw the ball spinning into him.
No, he didn't. I mean, that just didn't. It just wasn't sharp enough, really. Luke Shaw, all he's got really was like a quick haircut.
We're also hearing that the glass might be broken and Ronaldo could be coming on as well. Certainly Sancho was getting ready. I don't know if that's both of them. So they've gone 55 minutes Ronaldo free, but Solskjaer feels they might need him. Just noticing as well, I hadn't really seen it earlier, the bandage on Luke Shaw's knee. It looks like it was done in the dark by a first-time first aider.
Yeah, it looks.
What is that?
It looks terrible, doesn't it? It looks absolute. Honestly, if you saw a picture of him there, you think to yourself, oh, it's just a Sunday morning player.
So they run out of bandages. Yeah. Used all the plasters.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. How can you start a game looking? Well,
is it the Premier League or Hackney Marshes?
I wouldn't have gone with that kind of quality of Hackney Marshes.
I couldn't think of another one that other people might know.
Yes, that's the point, yeah.
You don't know the memorial playing fields in Rainham, do you? Eh, listeners? You probably do, but our listeners don't. Anyway, back underway here. Everton coming forward. Dino in the area. Luke Cross. Away by Shaw, who's up and about. McTominay with the next header. Challenge on the edge. Ball was broken to Anthony Gordon. Leaves it for Damari Gray. Dino wants it outside. Gray dribbles in the area. Left to Dino. Left-footed cross, Townsend flicks on, it's over the crossbar. No real danger there. 4 players in the box to aim for, and that's rather poor there from Everton. And that leads to the changes. Cristiano Ronaldo enters the fray, as does Jadon Sancho. It will be Anthony Martial and Edinson Cavani withdrawn.
I do wonder, he's gone and made a substitution relatively early for him, but I just look at Martial, he's just scored just before half-time and he brings him off now. If you're trying to build someone up and you don't go and make that substitution now, because it doesn't make any sense. He hasn't had the opportunity to get going yet. I really don't know. He's whatever he's built within himself there, Martial. I think he's lost that bit by the substitution. Cavani very similar as well. Maybe he's carrying a knock, Cavani. You mentioned about him having that limp, Tom, but I don't know. I do worry.
It's a 200th Premier League appearance for Cristiano Ronaldo. 87 goals scored in that time. It's also his 901st career appearance for all of the teams he's played for. Do you want to have a guess at how many goals?
No, I'm not going to.
679 to this point in all competitions for all the various teams he's played for, including international football. In just domestic football, it's just the 479. Anyway, there we go. Incredible. Here's Bruno Fernandes round the corner to Jadon Sancho, who didn't have the pace there on Michael Keane, who slid in.
I'm surprised at that. He didn't. I'm just going, he's just come on as a sub, maybe not, but I'm thinking myself, he has to be quicker than that.
Well, we're talking about Ronaldo, of course we are. Ronaldo is now on, but certainly a big introduction here for Jadon Sancho, who certainly hasn't set the world alight since his big money move from Borussia Dortmund. What do you make to his time at Old Trafford, Paul?
Not been there at all. He hasn't done anything at this moment in time. He needs to know that he's playing the next game to get himself implanted within the team. Ollie doesn't do it the way he brings players in.
Sancho gone left, Ronaldo central. Greenwood stays out right, but it's Everton coming forward. Damari Gray is running at Lindelof here, and he's beaten him too.
It's a foul.
He gets the shot away. He wants the foul from Lindelof. Paul's saying foul. Michael Oliver saying nothing.
If he keeps that ball and doesn't shoot, I think the referee would have given a foul because he's been pushed back. You can see his head's gone straight back as he's gone to strike it. Lindelof is out cut, and he's pushed him back. I tell you, if he keeps that, he would have got a penalty there.
Well, that's livened things up. Ronaldo and then Everton having a chance. Old Trafford is alive, and here's Jadon Sancho. He'll find Greenwood. Fernandes looks crossfield first time to Wan-Bissaka, who's not going to get this, surely. Dino has just knocked it away.
Huh?
And, well, it seemed like that ball had gone, but...
for me, that went over, but...
It's been given as a corner.
The assistant referee must be very, very quick to have seen that.
Corner for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes receiving the acclaim over on that far side from the supporters in that corner. Outswinger forthcoming. Ronaldo in the penalty area. Delivered in towards Ronaldo. Godfrey came clattering in. Both missed it in the end.
I think Godfrey just jumped for the sake of jumping there, just to get in the way of it, because he started in a poor position. He's just thrown himself in now.
May well have been a good decision, because Ronaldo missed the header. Here's Greenwood from the far side, running in field. Lovely skill, lovely run, blocked by Keane. Another good challenge today from Michael Keane. That's a good challenge by Bruno Fernandes to win it back from Manchester United, but the referee's given a free kick.
Well, I'm surprised at that, to be honest. That looked a really good challenge. Really good challenge.
Shake of the head there from Bruno Fernandes, and we're seeing the replay of it here. You can see why he's a bit annoyed on Alan, the holding midfielder.
No.
Not a great deal wrong with that for me.
No, I don't think so, to be perfectly honest. Have a look. No. It's just amazing, though, that every time a player goes down the floor, they wince. I find that really strange.
Well, certainly when there were no crowds in, it was he who screams loudest gets a decision. Not been like that so much since the fans came back. As the free kick is won by Man United, who'll start the counter. Jadon Sancho forward to Ronaldo, sub to sub. Here is Ronaldo, back to Sancho. Sancho in the area, shuffles, passes, Fernandes, McTominay just behind him. Ronaldo can't get it. Townsend brings Everton away.
I don't think it was behind McTominay. I think it's gone through him, to be perfectly honest. Took his eye off the ball.
Doucouré carries Everton to the halfway line. To the far side is Anthony Gordon. Here's Doucouré, 60 minutes up. Manchester United 1, Everton 0, Premier League Live.
The game's too open for Manchester United this moment in time. They're allowing Everton to get to the back four far too quickly, and on a very, very slow counter-attack. They've got there far too easy.
Dean, you're on the halfway. Such a different atmosphere now Ronaldo's on. It's almost woken everybody up inside Old Trafford. Game was meandering and drifting. And now everyone's getting their money's worth all of a sudden. He's not touched the ball, really.
No, he hasn't.
A few seconds.
My son will be happy.
Good, that's what it's all about. Keep the Parkers happy. There's Doucouré down the left-hand side. End line, Everton. Cross comes in. Blocked by Lindelof. Doucouré wins the second ball, though. Gray brings it down nicely. Cleared away by Wan-Bissaka. Up to Bruno Fernandes. Beautiful first touch. Into his own path. Away from Alan. Onto Sancho, left-hand side. Godfrey is with him, tries a bit of skill. Godfrey's too quick for him, but he goes into touch for a throw.
He's going to have to work really hard, Sancho, up against Godfrey. Godfrey is very strong. More than anything, he's very, very quick as well. So Sancho's going to have to play with his head. He's not going to beat him for pace. He's got to beat him just with cleverness. Movement off the ball is going to help him a lot.
50 goals and 137 appearances for Borussia Dortmund. Jadon Sancho, the German fans, the German journalists absolutely love him. The Man United fans yet to see the best of Jadon Sancho, that's for sure, but early days.
But I must say about it, I watched quite a bit of the Bundesliga because it was the first league to start after the lockdown.
Yeah.
And you watch the defending's poor. And we saw that with their national team. They keep a high line, and their defending one-on-one was very, very poor. And I think that might have aided him a little bit out there in Germany.
Potentially so. That's certainly something that's been levelled at Jadon Sancho. The only way to stop that conversation is have a big performance here when he's running at Godfrey. Finds Bruno Fernandes. Left to Shaw. Sancho wants it again, but Shaw comes in field instead with his makeshift homemade knee bandage. Lindelof, square to McTominay. McTominay right of centre, approaching the offensive third. Here's Ronaldo. Bit of skill in the control, obviously. Finds a short pass to Wan-Bissaka. Back to Ronaldo. He says he was fouled, and if you ask the referee for it and you're Ronaldo, it seems you get it.
Yeah, that worked, didn't it? Please.
He wasn't going to get it. He looked at the ref, and Michael Oliver blew his whistle. Taken quickly. Wan-Bissaka. Fernandes lets it run. McTominay, goal side of Alan. Cuts it back towards Ronaldo. Blocked by the Everton holding midfielder. Yet another corner to Manchester United.
Yeah, they switched off there, Everton, to be perfectly honest. They've allowed that free kick to happen too quickly.
Lovely little dummy on his way through from Bruno Fernandes. A little flick, in fact, on the replay you can see onto McTominay. And he'll take this corner on the far side. Bruno Fernandes at the end, where of course he missed that penalty last week so infamously against Aston Villa. We're still looking out for that ball to come down here at Old Trafford as his corner is intercepted by Damari Gray, who's carried to the halfway line brilliantly here, and he's still going to Damari Gray, and he's released to Doucouré. Defenders closing in. There is a runner. It's Andros Townsend. Andros Townsend! Andros Townsend scores! Superb breakaway from Everton, and Andros Townsend, a man reborn, has just done the Ronaldo. He's just done the Ronaldo celebration at Old Trafford on Ronaldo's manner. Superb breakaway from Everton, slicing through the United defence. Brilliant from Gray, brilliant from Doucouré, better from Townsend. The scores are level.
What I loved about that, other than the ending, to be perfectly honest, was the fact of Gray. The fact of Fred has come across and said, I'm going to shoulder barge you. He wanted that ball that bad. He said, I'm staying on my feet and I'm stronger. And he runs away and he just knocks the ball inside to Doucouré. And I think to myself, Doucouré, you ain't got the pace. And Andros Townsend has come from nowhere and he struck it with his weaker foot as well. And it was a lovely finish because De Gea couldn't move. He was rooted to the spot because the finish was that good. But what a great counter-attack that was by Everton. And the finish from Townsend was wonderful, but the actual celebration has endeared him even more to the Everton fans.
Right now, Andros Townsend doesn't have a weaker foot. Fantastic finish from Townsend. 3rd goal in the Premier League this season, 7th appearance in this division for the Toffees. Opened the scoring for Crystal Palace here last season, a 3-1 victory for the Eagles. That was the only goal in the Premier League last season. That was a fantastic finish, and now Man United have it all to do again. In the first half, Everton grew and grew to be the better side by the end of it, despite the late goal for United. Well, they're going to do that in the second period too. Good game we got on here, 1-1, 65 minutes.
I just knew that Everton weren't at the game. United never really went at them as they should have done.
Delivery towards Ronaldo. It's away by Yerry Mina. Did the changes help Manchester United?
They didn't. Do you know what, Tom? I was going to ask you that question. I'm switching it around. I'm going to ask Tom questions, but I don't think it did. I think they lost that. Any momentum they had, they lost it with that substitution, with the substitutions.
Don't ask me. I don't know anything. That's why I bring you in.
I just wanted your opinion, Tom. That's all it was, mate. And then I make my mind up from there.
I just parrot your opinions and pass them off as my own. That's how I do it. Strong challenge by Decore there. Free kick to Manchester United. Midway inside Everton territory. 67 minutes gone 1-1. Wan-Bissaka is away from Digne's challenge. Again, it's the Everton fans in full throated support of their team as they've got back in this game at 1-1. That stupid win probability percentage came up on our screen a little while ago, and it said Everton had a 4% chance of winning. I wonder what it is now. Put your calculator down, you idiots.
Yeah.
67 minutes gone, it's 1-1. Here's Varane.
I always turn around and say, lift your head above your laptop and watch the game.
You might even enjoy it.
Yep.
You might even enjoy the game. Here's Wan-Bissaka, right hand side, up against Gordon. Good challenge, good tracking. Yet another corner though to Manchester United over on that far side.
Yeah. I don't think anyone watching would have been surprised that Everton had got back into it. Just by the way United are playing, there was always that belief for me that Everton weren't out of the game, and they've got back in it because they deserve to be in the game.
Corner comes in, deep delivery, Townsend clears it, there was no one on him, so he could have brought that down, and he's knocked it into touch. He annoyed with himself there, Andros Townsend, but I think the Everton fans have probably let him off that one, the way he's played so far.
I think communication would have helped him there, wouldn't it? By Ben Godfrey just behind him.
Yep. Another corner on the left-hand side this time. Luke Shaw with it. That's a good delivery. Headed on by Varane towards Ronaldo. Recovered by Greenwood. Takes Townsend on the outside. Slips over. Even Man United won't get a penalty for that. And then Townsend been fouled by Greenwood. And that's a free kick Everton's way on the end line left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a foul. Definitely wasn't a foul. He slipped, and even everyone in the Stretford end was screaming for it. Never in a million years. But Townsend got away with murder there, just the way he'd fallen down, and the assistant referee bought it.
Yeah, I suppose if the Townsend wants a free kick, then maybe it is a penalty. Hard to know these days as we watch a replay of that breakaway from Everton. From a defensive perspective of Manchester United, a few times today, players have been in the wrong positions. I know they were attacking, but all of a sudden, Shaw's at centre-back, Lindelof is out of position. They do look a bit ragged at times, don't they? Certainly when Everton are running at them, Man United.
They are, because they're getting through the midfield far too quick and easily.
We'll come back to that as they're coming in again here. Cross from Gordon on the left-hand side, cleared away, not very far.
Oh, he's got to be stronger there.
Sancho too strong for Digne, and he brings United away over the right-hand side. Good challenge by the retreating Anthony Gordon, who is loving starting for Everton at Old Trafford today, let me tell you. And here come Everton again. The game has suddenly got stretched. Into the feet of Solomon Rondon, backing into Varane. Right to Godfrey in some space. 4 in the box to aim for here for Godfrey. Goes to Townsend feet, who controls and turns and shoots. Well, he's good enough to hit the target, but not this time, Andros Townsend.
I could see what he wanted to do there straight away. The moment he got on that ball, he just on the half turn saying, I'm just going to hit this one just round the corner, and maybe De Gea hasn't got a clue that I'm going to shoot.
Change here for Manchester United, different complexion on the game now. It's the third final change they can make. Fred has gone off and Paul Pogba replaces him.
Yeah, well, it's another substitution which maybe could have been one of the ones he might have made earlier to add a little bit. Look like he wants to go and win the game by bringing on another attacking midfield player, but he's gone and made that double substitution in the front line, which I think was so unnecessary for him to go and do. Wasn't needed at that given time.
Pogba to Fernandes out left to Sancho, early cross away by Keane. Greenwood was sniffing, not a great ball from Jadon Sancho. cover on the halfway line by Raphael Varane.
It was a percentage ball, that was, more than anything. If it comes off, everyone would say great ball, but when you look at it, what he tried to do, he's played a ball in swinging blinds, and it was not enough height on it either to give it a chance.
I bet the win probability percentage people love that cross. 70% chance of being turned home. 30% chance you weren't watching. 20 minutes remaining, 1-1 at Old Trafford. Just a reminder, we are off to Stamford Bridge next. Chelsea, Southampton, Russell Hargreaves and Paul Mortimer. Except for our listeners in Ireland, you'll be hearing Wolves against Newcastle with Toby Gillis and Rufus Brevitt. Also Burnley Norwich with Andrew Self, and Leeds Watford with Barry Swain. Available to our online and digital partners listening around the world. So make sure you tune in to your choice of match. Goals as they go in during our feature matches. Later it's Brighton Arsenal. Here come United with Ronaldo, edge of the area, right hand side. 3 players around him, nowhere to go. Back to Varane. Varane's pass is heavy. Jadon Sancho wasn't there. That's out for a throw on this near side, allowing Everton to make a substitution. Tom Davies entering the fray, and he'll replace the hard-working Anthony Gordon, which can only be fatigue, because he's been fantastic today, I think, for Everton.
He certainly has been, by the way, Tom. And he looked like he's been strumming somewhere, doesn't he, Tom Davies?
In his band?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like on the street?
More on the streets, to be perfectly honest.
Well, he's been a fashion icon, Tom Davies, so I understand. He's been in like GQ and all the high-end magazines. Have you ever been featured in GQ, Paul?
I think I have, to be honest.
I was about to say, I think you have, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have. I'll have to go and look at my loft.
If you have the Paul Parker GQ magazine, do let us know at TalkSport Live on Twitter. We will certainly retweet your images. Was it the one where you were dressed as like you were in the 20s or something, that one?
Nope.
No, I like that. It's a good picture. One to search out, folks. Tom Davies on, the 23-year-old local lad.
I was in there wearing a suit as it goes.
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Here we go. I didn't know you had a suit. No, you'd look great in anything.
Thanks, Tom.
Here's Paul Pogba, not Paul Parker, into Jadon Sancho, back to Pogba again on the edge. Lovely touch to McTominay, tries to get the shot away, blocked by Michael Keane, who's doing a lot of that today. In the centre of that Everton defence, it's cleared away.
That looked like in the moment when Tom McTominay was going, it looked like something from rugby league, didn't it? He just virtually just put his head down and just went for the centre.
Oh, I don't watch rugby league, I value my time. Here's Luke Shaw on the halfway for Manchester United. 73 minutes gone, 1-1. On to Bruno Fernandes. Rafa Benitez still on the edge of his technical area. He's instructing players individually where to go, what to do. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we haven't seen him as yet. Normally they send Mike Phelan or Michael Carrick to the edge to give the instructions.
I think that's one of the things now we're seeing a lot more of. It wasn't, during my time, it wasn't one of those things that was done a lot. Managers just popped out now and again just to really make you feel really scared. But now we're seeing Tuchel do it. Klopp is consistently there.
Lovely pass, Tom Davies to Mari Gray, left-hand side. He's got Lindelof on toes, takes him on the outside. Oh, and he just overruns it on the end line. Tamari Gray is growing into this game, and he's loving running of Victor Lindelof right now.
And the problem is Lindelof just backs off, doesn't go to the ball. Once he gets in the box, he can't do it. And it was about Gray, really, Tamari Gray. He should have released it earlier. Once he got that side of him in the box, bang, it should have gone. He's just gone that little bit too far. Great change of pace again, though.
Here's Jadon Sancho, left-hand side. Gets away from Godfrey, into the area, into Ronaldo! Flashes the ball right across the goal, Cristiano Ronaldo. Definitely a shot. It's off target from a tight angle, and that's a let-off for Everton there. There's Ronaldo. Was free in the box. You can't do that.
I think that was Sancho's best moment since he's joined United, and I mean, it's gone quite wide in the end when you see it. It was just a movement, though, and I was just about to say, I want to see Ronaldo playing as a centre-forward rather than dropping deep into midfield. They've lost that centre-forward role now. Cavani normally plays it quite well. Hasn't done it today, so they've taken off the centre-forwards to bring on virtually two midfield players.
They needed the late Ronaldo show in midweek in the Champions League. They'll need it again today in the Premier League. Otherwise it'll be 1 point from 2 games at home against Villa and Everton. That is not title contending form, you would suggest. Here's Digne, left-hand side, by the corner flag, tries to cross. Fans think that went out over the sideline, wasn't given, cross is blocked. Throw into Everton, left-hand side. 75 minutes gone, 1-1. Digne with the throw. In towards the Corey. Tries to run at Pogba, gets around. Pogba still bundling his way forward here. Dives in with the challenge. Referee's giving the free kick, and he's going to book Decore as well. Fernandes went down.
Well, that was sloppy initially from Fernandes because he didn't defend against Decore. He's let him walk away with him. He's got a second bite. How's he got a yellow card for that, by the way?
Well, I couldn't quite hear Bruno Fernandes scream, but maybe that was the convincing factor. Certainly on our monitors, it looks like he gave it both lungs there, Bruno Fernandes.
That was such a soft booking. Okay, maybe a foul, but it was to give him a yellow card for that was ridiculous.
Just a reminder, it's nowhere near Everton's strongest team. We may well be hearing from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer later complaining about the tight turnaround. No Calvert-Lewin, no Richarlison, no Seamus Coleman. There's Ronaldo crossing the left-hand side here, blocked by Godfrey. Ronaldo wins the second header, but Townsend brings Everton away with a lob clearance up towards the halfway line. Rondon will battle for this. Varane and Lindelof get in each other's way rather, and Rondon nearly stole in. Lindelof eventually gets away with it. It's a long ball here to Greenwood. Greenwood crosses towards Ronaldo, blocked by Keane. Offside flag will surely go up. He looked well offside, and it does now go up.
Yeah, let that go for far too long, to be honest. I could see the first run he was offside. There it is.
Yeah, he looked off by a long distance, but we play on these days. We have become used to it at this point, but it's still stupid nonetheless. Everton don't have a great record at Old Trafford, as we mentioned across the broadcast, but they did get a draw here last season, 3-3. Dramatic finish in that one. They did get a 1-1 draw the previous season as well. Just 2 wins in 29 visits here. No fancy it at the moment as Damari Gray battles Lindelof again. Rondon's flick on. Gray goes down, no penalty. David De Gea picks it up, and United will look to come forward themselves down the right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka finds McTominay in towards Paul Pogba. Davis with him, poked over the halfway line. Luke Shaw infield. Townsend is with him. Back to Paul Pogba. Came on a few minutes ago. Pogba in midfield for Fred. Wan-Bissaka down the line. Ronaldo battling Keane. Keane will deal with it. Strong defensive performance today from Michael Keane, Paul.
No, it is. I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes you watch him play and you think, he's so short, so good. Then he just makes that one mistake. You go, you switched off. But he's been really assured so far. But this might be the kiss of death now.
We apologise in advance, Everton fans. Here's Jadon Sancho, left-hand side. Townsend and Godfrey. What a shift those two have put in today.
Yeah, he doesn't stop Townsend. I've seen him 3 or 4 times this season playing for Everton. His work rate is incredible.
Lovely turn by Sancho. Turn of pace finds Fernandes, who fires right across the 6-yard box. Ronaldo wasn't there. Wan-Bissaka picks it up. Cross comes in. Fernandes battles for it, wins the header, flicks it on, and then he is screaming and holding his head for some reason or other. Ben Godfrey is pretending to be injured as well.
That was terrible, wasn't
it? It looks like he's actually, we're seeing on a zoom on our monitors, he's quite clearly telling Yeremina, don't worry, I'm pretending to be injured. Yeah. And he does that in the style of the wink, which is what gave that away. Back in action is the ball momentarily out of play. Time is at 79 minutes and the score is 1-1 between Man United and Everton. Still injured here is Bruno Fernandes. Interesting to see that Ben Godfrey is still pretending to be injured here, Paul. There's absolutely nothing wrong with him at all at the moment, and he'll continue to get this treatment for some reason or other, even though, there's no injury here. 10 minutes remaining. It is 1-1 between Man United and Everton here on Premier League Live, and there is a goal kick here coming for Manchester United. Final 10 minutes here of this one. It's a goal kick which will eventually be taken. Just a reminder, we are back with you in a few moments for Chelsea, Southampton. Russell Hargreaves and Paul Moore to be a commentary team. In Ireland, we will have full commentary of Wolves against Newcastle United. Goal kick goes up to Andros Townsend. Forward by Everton up towards Solomon Rondon. It's away by Varane. Chance here for Rondon to steal, but Lindelof will get there. And Man United will retake possession once again here on the edge of the penalty area. It's Wan-Bissaka on the far side. Into McTominay. That's short. Alan will steal it here. Looked off the pace at times, McTominay. Over the top here to the runner on the far side, Damari Gray, but that one will go into touch. Wan-Bissaka will see that one out over on the far side. Lindelof will now take it on the edge of his own penalty area. Paul Parker, Man United. What do you make to them at the moment?
No, they've lost their way. There's just no belief there. They're hoping that Ronaldo can pull something out of the bag. That's what they need at the moment. That's the team they've become at this moment in time. Almost just relying on one player to get them out of trouble. And that doesn't sound like maybe how Manchester United should be. It should be about a team unit with more individuals who can make things happen, and they haven't got that at this moment in time. Very, very poor. Yes, they've won a lot of games, this unbeaten away record, but when you look at them over 90 minutes, game of football, they're not the strongest.
Jadon Sancho, left-hand side, takes Godfrey on the outside, and Yerry Mina comes to close him down. Still coming, Jadon Sancho finds Pogba with the effort, who swings one towards goal, but over the crossbar, Paul Pogba, left to right. Better play again, Paul, from Jadon Sancho, who's really growing into this game now.
Yeah, he's definitely been able to run at people. That was a good decision to pass to Pogba, and you expect Pogba, given everything, to have maybe done a little bit better there. You could see that himself. He was disappointed with it. Too much room on the edge of the box, and he's tried to use Alan as someone just to go around, to take it away from De Gea's sight, trying to hit that top left-hand corner, and he was a good couple of feet away.
82 minutes on the clock. Jordan Pickford with a blast upfield. The score is 1-1 between Manchester United and Everton. Martial on 43 minutes, Townsend on 65 with yet another brilliant finish. Andros Townsend in the form of his career right now in the Premier League, at least. He did it for England, did a great run, of course, under Andros Townsend, under Roy Hodgson, but right now Andros Townsend may be the best player in the Premier League at this moment in time, and I don't say that gently. I genuinely mean he's been fantastic in the last few weeks in the Premier League season. There's Bruno Fernandes crossed from the right hand side, blocked by Digne. They're getting a bit desperate here, Man United, with 8 minutes to go.
They certainly are. They're going to have to start maybe just using the strength of Ronaldo, his ability in the air at this moment in time.
Luke Shaw, left hand side, up against Andros Townsend.
He's killed it.
Brings it back into Varane, who's looked a bit shaky today. How far up the field Lindelof and Varane are. They're a good 20 yards over the halfway. That's where the goal came from for Everton. The central defender's abandoned post. Poked by Fernandes into Pogba. Tries to turn Alan. Can't do so. That's going to be a corner on the far side. Yet another corner. So Man United, they're 11th of the match now. Not one really has threatened the goal. Maybe now. Pogba and Fernandes combining over on the far side. Lindelof and Varane forward for this corner. Fernandes delivery. Pogba free header. Oh, he's missed it. Free header, 6 yards out. Maybe just underneath it. Tries to turn it towards goal. Turns it some way wide in the end. That's a goal kick.
Well, you just look at that ball going in. It was just maybe just slightly just over him. He was maybe under it, as you said. But himself, Pogba and Ronaldo were on their own. Where was Michael Keane then? He was the wrong side. But looking where that ball was as well, Tom. Pickford, he should have been in and around there, in my opinion.
Pickford will take this goal kick. He certainly didn't quite fancy jumping up for that one. Jordan Pickford in the end. Pogba's poor header made that the right decision as the goal kick is launched up towards Solomon Rondon. He tries to find Damari Gray. Lindelof intercepts it and knocks it back to his goalkeeper David De Gea away to our right. 84 minutes gone, it's 1-1. Wan-Bissaka forward. Greenwood's poor pass. Davis forward. Chance for Decore. In the area, Decore does shoot in the end. It's blocked by Greenwood. Townsend wanted the ball. Rondon wanted it. He goes for a corner on the far side.
Oh, it's just amazing now, because I think everyone's going to be talking about the substitutions have killed Manchester United, and I don't think it can be any different than that, because they have certainly lost their way with the substitutions. They've just lost everything going forward. Defensively, they're in absolute pieces at this moment in time. They're just not a unit at that back four.
They're holding on here. Oh, Manchester United to a 1-1 draw at home against Everton. Ball is delivered in. It's away by Varane. Good header. Recovered by Godfrey. Nearly robbed by Sancho. But Davis is in here for Everton. Square ball. Yerry Mina puts it home, but he's got to be offside. Surely offside. For the moment the goal is given. For the moment, Everton have turned it around at Old Trafford. For the moment, Yerry Mina is dancing with delight in front of the Manchester United fans. Will VAR allow it? We will check it in the next few moments. But as things stand, Paul, Everton have taken the lead at Old Trafford.
Yeah, again, I just said about the defending. You come out, but when you come out, you take a man, and I don't know, I think Varane has just run out into space, and virtually, I think he's offside.
He's going to be offside here.
Yeah,
he's going to be offside.
Tom Davies should have done that himself. He was in front of the ball.
Yerry Mina got in front of the ball. That was poor from Mina.
Yep.
That was poor from Davies. He must have known he was offside.
Yep.
And still gave us his full repertoire.
Yep, he must have known. I was embarrassed for him while he was doing it, to be perfectly honest, because it was poor dancing. He's Colombian. He should be better than that.
That was like your dad at a wedding. Pathetic from Yerry Mina. And he's offside to boot. Showed himself up there. And now Man United with that let-off come forward. Cross-field. Bruno Fernandes in the penalty area. Reverse pass to Pogba. Held up by Yerry Mina. He's not dancing now. Challenged by Townsend. Good work by the hard-working Andros Townsend. Then Pogba and Yerry Mina are somehow combined in the area. Yerry Mina goes down. Maybe he wants to do upside your head now. I don't know. It's a free kick to Everton in their own penalty area.
I don't know what Pogba was doing, to be perfectly honest. He's done that bit of work then. He just grabs up. Look. Oh, he's got him down. He's took him down. It was like a Big Daddy splash.
A Big Daddy splash.
Yeah.
We are doing some real references here.
Oh, dig
They're
it up.
definitely getting these in Uganda. They're loving these gags.
Big Daddy. It was the 80s, that was, so I should look saying more modern, but wrestling ain't the same anymore.
No, that's true. Google some of these dreadful references, folks. And let us know if you got any of them. Final 3 minutes. It's all dramatic now at Old Trafford, when it was kind of just edging to an easy United win a few minutes ago. Since the Andros Townsend goal on 65, things have all changed, and it should at the moment be Everton leading, but Davies and Yerry Mina got it all wrong at the vital moment. Is there to be a winner in this match?
Tom Davies, with any kind of confidence, shoots across De Gea. No one could have a go at him for shooting.
That was Andros Townsend there. It would be 2-1.
Yeah.
It isn't, though. It is 1-1. And the ball is with Luke Shaw, Manchester United, halfway line. Onto Varane. You'll find Lindelof. Lindelof onto Cristiano Ronaldo. Attack, attack, attack is the chant from the home fans. They're trying their best, but there's no way through the blue wall right now. And that through ball is going nowhere from Greenwood. Pickford will pick it up.
The one thing I learnt in my 5 years at Manchester United, when the fans are doing that, that means things aren't going well when they do that.
Well, it's not been a great performance, you've got to say, from Manchester United.
It hasn't. It's no different to midweek, to be perfectly honest. I think Demarai Gray has been brilliant. I just love the fact he just wants to run and keep going. Doesn't look to fall over. He wants to score goals. Stays on his feet.
Yeah, another game where he and Andros Townsend, two of the Premier League's forgotten men in many ways. Townsend had a rough time at Crystal Palace. Demarai Gray, before the move to Leverkusen, was rather lost at Leicester. Under Rafa Benitez in this team, they're looking more Premier League players than maybe ever before, as Solomon Rondon and Luca Digne battle with Tomine and Wan-Bissaka for a loose ball on that far side.
How did he make that out to be a free kick to Manchester United? Oh, he's given a throw. So he wasn't clear in what he'd done now.
No, I thought that was a free kick as well. But it was a throw. It's now been taken. And they go cross-field to Solskjaer's side to Varane. Up to the halfway. Here's Paul Pogba. Right-footed chip down the line. Trying to find the run of Sancho's. Just kept that on in line left-hand side. Good play from him.
Deliver.
Shaw doesn't deliver as Paul Parker would have wanted. Does find Paul Pogba. Onto Sancho. Tries to jink away from Townsend. He does. Into Shaw. Back to Sancho. Alan is chasing the ball. Backheel by Sancho finds Pogba. Pogba infield to McTominay. Forward to Ronaldo, who's gone deep. Right to Wan-Bissaka, takes on Digne on the far side, approaching the penalty area. Back to McTominay instead. Pogba in the centre, flicks forward towards Greenwood, intercepted. Bruno Fernandes picks it up, right hand side, Wan-Bissaka. Cross comes in, Ronaldo's there, Mina away. Pogba brings it down. Onto Ronaldo, in the area, back heel. Jadon Sancho with the effort. Didn't get hold of it. Straight to Jordan Pickford. Two players begging for it back post. It's a shot that's easily saved in the end.
Yeah, that was a wonderful little ball that Wan-Bissaka put in. He stood up. It comes out to Pogba. Lovely little pass to Ronaldo. Ronaldo flicks it to Sancho at the angle. and he virtually just passes it into the arms of Pickford. No belief, no strength in the shot at all from Sancho.
90 minutes up at Old Trafford all of a sudden. 4 minutes will be added on with the score at 1-1 here on Premier League Live. Rondon and McTominay battle for a loose ball on the halfway. Fouled by Rondon, free kick Man United, which they've already taken. And all of a sudden, they've realised there's some urgency in it, this Manchester United team. 4 minutes to go, and they're about to drop 2 points at home again. Should have been 3. Here's Mason Greenwood on the far side, running infield away from Dino, away from Doucouré. On to Luke Shaw, infield from the left. On towards Sancho, challenged by Godfrey. Here's Shaw, running infield again, challenged by Townsend. Ronaldo loses out on the edge to Davis, wants a free kick, doesn't get one that time.
That's where you wanted him to stay strong and keep going. He took the easy option by falling over.
It is the Ronaldo way. And that's led to a poor ball down the line, going out for a goal kick, and they'll make a change here, Everton. Lewis Dobbin is going to come on, the 18-year-old. Made his senior debut against Norwich in the 2-0 victory last time out, and he makes his second appearance here, replacing Damari Gray. We spoke about him moments ago, Paul, but as he's coming off here, another brilliant performance from Damari Gray.
It certainly is, and he's all about the fact that he knows he's playing, he knows his manager trusts him, he knows his manager believes in him, and that's why Everton are reaping the rewards of a player who was talked about being a little bit of a superstar when he was younger, from when he was at Birmingham City, and he just hasn't worked out, but it's working for him at Everton at this moment in time.
Still just 25, Damari Gray, plenty of career ahead of him. Made 169 appearances for Leicester in his time there. Most of those, or half of those at least, came from the bench. In the Premier League, most were sub-appearances.
I do worry about those substitutions. It's a dangerous substitution because they've taken away the pace and energy up front. So the centre-forwards step on. Sorry, the centre-halves will step on. They've got no one up there who's going to run in behind now. So United can push on that little bit more, knowing that the pace of Gray has gone now from the front line of Everton.
Well, he is a striker, so I'm told, Lewis Dobbin. At 18 years of age, you would assume a striker has a bit of pace up there, but of course, Damari Gray, a significantly senior player to have on the field at this moment in time, as Townsend and Doucouré battle to win the ball back for Everton. Into Davis, who is caught out by McTominay and Fernandes. A big launch upfield for United, rather aimless, as was Keane's header forward, and McTominay takes over. Yerry Mina clatters Sancho. Ronaldo miscontrols, and because of that, it's a free kick Man United to aim right of centre, 40-odd yards from goal.
Yeah, it was a sloppy foul to give away there. Just ran in straight away and just hit him. No need to do that at all, and it's a dangerous one to give away.
Free kick taken into Ronaldo. Good win by Keane. Offside flag up against Cristiano Ronaldo, who I don't think was quite alert to that quick thinking delivery from Bruno Fernandes, and that's a free kick for Everton with seconds remaining, Paul. That might be that here.
It seems that way. I mean, that was far too... it was a good idea. Ronaldo just didn't know where he was. I think he looked at Fernandes, so he knew what was going on. He could see it. But he's just gone that fraction too early.
Well, it'll be 3 years and 3 draws at Old Trafford for Everton, on a ground where they so rarely have success, but that's the story for many teams these days. You used to never win here, never get a point here. Now everyone is. Villa with 3 last week, looks like Everton with 1 today.
They deserve 1 as well, by the way, Tom.
For those just joining us, it could have been all 3, as Yerry Mina did put the ball in the net for 2-1, but had strayed offside at the vital moment, and that'll be frustrating for Rafa Benitez, because if that is a legitimate goal, it's the perfect game and the perfect game plan executed.
Yeah, they're just one of them with Rafa Benitez. You just know that he's never going to make it easy. He's that clever a manager, and everyone will just look what he's gone and done. He doesn't play the most exciting football, but when he gets something, he can work with any players and give them half a chance of getting something from a game, and he's gone and done that again with Everton today.
Final chance for a break here for Manchester United. We're over the 4 additional minutes that were due to be added on. We're at referee's discretion when we get past the 90. Greenwood goes long. Pogba leaps, shouts of handball against Godfrey. And the referee hasn't given that. He's given us the full-time whistle. And it's finished 1-1 at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Everton. Martial, on the stroke of half-time, gave the Red Devils the lead. Townsend levelled things up on 65. Yerry Mina had the ball in the back of the net, but it did not count. Paul Parker, more points dropped at Old Trafford for Manchester United.
But Everton have got what they deserve, to be perfectly honest. If United had come away 1-0 with Everton's performance, again, it would have been a little bit like it was in midweek. They've got something out of nothing, but they certainly have played really well, and they started slowly again in that second half. I believe that they would come out, make an opportunity, and they done that more than once in that second half.
Yep.
They really played well as a unit, and he's brought players together. And you've got to remember, Ancelotti left them with a bad squad. He left Rafa Benitez a bad squad, and the worst thing about it, that bad squad got even worse when there were injuries to key players as well within that, and he's still managing to get results, and he's getting performances as well. They wasn't hanging on there, Everton, we can't say that. They've got what they deserved out of the game.
Yep.
They could have got 3 points.
Full time, it's finished 1-1. Fernandes has it, and he finds Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side of the area, and that's a lovely ball in. Martial! Oh, he had to score, and he floats it wide.
You think he's going to hang? He doesn't. He has jumped far too early.
Challenged by Lindelof, breaks towards Digne, and there's a chance here. Solomon Rondon, he's in! Oh, and he just delayed too long to get the shot away.
That was poor by United to allow that many passes, not putting Everton under any pressure.
Fernandes, back to Fred on the far side. Fred in field, right-footed cross towards Cavani! Good save. Jordan Pickford down low to his right to make it. Amari Gray, lovely skill, turn of pace, driving shot! Good save by David De Gea.
De Gea has got Manchester United out of jail again. He was brilliant midweek. He's made the save of the game so far.
Lovely touch, Bruno Fernandes, and he finds Martial! What a huge moment that is for Anthony Martial, who scores. Lovely set by Bruno Fernandes, and didn't Manchester United and didn't Anthony Martial need that? Just before half-time, they take the lead, 1-0.
That takes away everything from before. We've seen Martial now has got Manchester United out of trouble. Now he's a hero.
Amari Gray is carried to the halfway line brilliantly here, and he's still going to Amari Gray, and he's released to Corey. Defenders closing in. There is a runner. It's Andros Townsend. Andros Townsend! Oh. Andros Townsend scores. Superb breakaway from Everton, and Andros Townsend, a man reborn, has just done the Ronaldo. He's just done the Ronaldo celebration at Old Trafford. On Ronaldo's manner, the scores are level.
The finish from Townsend was wonderful, but the actual celebration has endeared him even more to the Everton fans.
And that's how it's finished. We are out of time. We are back in a few moments with Chelsea against Southampton. In Ireland, you've got Wolves, Newcastle. Here, it's finished 1-1 between Man U and Everton. You're listening to Premier League Live.
It's the ultimate fusion of football and celebrity.
The Best 11 podcast from Talk Sport.
Johnny Owen and Mark Webster interview the biggest names in popular culture,
looking back at the role the beautiful game has played in their lives.
Paul Weller. Could I just start off apologising for last weekend?
Actor Stephen Graham. Good morning, Stevie.
Morning. Sharing their earliest football memories,
how they celebrated their team's successes,
culminating in their all-time best 11.
Noel Gallagher.
Let's deal with the hangover and let's have it again after that.
The Best 11 podcast. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Tom Rennie. Join me for a weekly podcast, Week in the Tackle, available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm going to be joined by Brian Dunseth, MLS legend, to tackle the biggest stories from the week in soccer.
And the great thing about working with Tom and making Week in the Tackle is we're only going to be covering things we think are worth tackling.
This show is all about passion. What's going to get us riled up? What's going to get you riled up to give us all something to chew on?
We're not here to sit on the fence and tell you the stories of the day. That's what your phone's for. You'll be scrolling through Twitter while listening anyways.
Exactly. I'm scrolling through Twitter right now. I'll save you the trouble. It is all all bad news. This show is about tackling all the news of the week, giving our take on why it's interesting and why we think you should know.
Who should be sacked? Who should be bought? Who should be sold? Who was right? Who was wrong?
Strong opinion, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle is available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts. If it's a big story in soccer, we'll tackle it.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
Still improving week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Women's Football Weekly Podcast.
With Fake or Others. All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
Clean off the line by Steph Horton.
Including the Women's Super League.
Ellen White is there to tap it in.
The UEFA Women's Champions League.
Lana Clellan striking from outside the penalty area.
And the Euro 2021 qualifiers.
On the edge of the area to Emsley. And Emsley's going to finish it off.
Plus, all the home nations' international friendlies.
Lucy Bronze with the strike from the edge of the penalty area.
World-beating big match conversation.
There's Jodie Taylor.
Subscribe now to the Women's Football Weekly Podcast on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Premier League Live with Talk Sport. All the big goals and big moments from the world's biggest football league.
Havertz and in! Chelsea lead at Anfield!
Antonio again inside the penalty area! He's scored again! It's in! It's Patrick Bamford!
It's the most intense league in world football, and we've got all the action right here.
Heung-min Son with the opening Premier League goal of the Nuno era! Hat-trick for Bruno Fernandes! He's kicked off the new season with a treble!
Salah!
Oh, there it is.
There's the goal!
Premier League Live with Talk Sport.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Chelsea against Southampton from Stamford Bridge. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me, the former Crystal Palace and Aston Villa winger Paul Mortimer, and this is Premier League Live. Well, after two straight defeats all of a sudden, the Blues are in need of a response under Thomas Tuchel, as the title hopefuls, as they still clearly are, prepare to face a Saints side who are yet to win in the league this season, with the pressure mounting once again on their boss, Ralph Hasenhüttl. As I say, Morts is alongside me, sir. How are you?
Absolutely fine, thank you. Afternoon, everyone. Afternoon. Should be a good game, this Chelsea O. So, after, a strange result in midweek, I'm expecting some action from them right from the start.
Totally agree with you. Against a Saints team who haven't been great, as I've just alluded to, but do often draw, and actually drew at Man City a couple of weeks ago. Could they maybe attempt a similar blueprint?
I think that's what they'll be hoping to do, but they've not really convinced. They don't have won a game at the moment.
No, two in the Carling Cup, and that's it. Carabao Cup, and that's it.
Yeah, they've not won, and it's, they've got to get something out of today's game, and I think the best that they could get is a draw.
Now, Chelsea, as we say, it's been strange, hasn't it? A magnificent run of form from the end of last season, winning the Champions League, then winning the European Super Cup, unbeaten and top of the table after the first, 4 rounds of the Premier League. But it's just gone a little bit flat, and in Europe too.
Yeah, it has, and you can't really put your finger on why, because if you look at their squad, it's up there with the best in the Premier League, and one of the strongest in Europe. You've got to say they've got a lot of good players, and not really many serious injuries either. But again, it's about the balance. It's about getting it right. You know that Lukaku will play up front. You know that Rudiger, people like that will play. But it looks like they may have changed the formation today. If Chilwell's playing for me, we spoke about this off air. It's going to be about getting the balance right, game by game for Tuchel.
Yes, so let's go to the teams after you've just tantalisingly kind of tempted us there, Paul. We'll go to Chelsea first of all. 4 changes from that 1-0 defeat in Turin against Juve in the Champions League on Wednesday. Down to the bench are Marcus Alonso, Andreas Christensen, Jorginho and Hakim Ziyech. Into the team can Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Trevor Chabola, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ben Chilwell. So it's Edward Mendy in goal, a back 4